engagement rings. We know you can get your holiday gifts anywhere these days, but knowing your loved one's gift was crafted by master jewelers? It's a difference everyone can see and feel, no matter the price. All of our fine jewelry begins with a vision by our in-house designers. Then, we ensure each piece meets our high-quality standards every step of the way, including the smallest details. It's why our jewelry comes with our all-inclusive, free lifetime warranty that covers everything and doesn't cost a dime. At Shane Company, there's no shortcuts, just craftsmanship. Because a friend wants your fine jewelry to be nothing short of perfect. Come see for yourself. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
JMV here for my friends John and Chris Love at Love Heating and Air Conditioning. Make sure your home is cozy and comfortable during these icy cold winter months. Need heating service? Tell them JMV sent you. If a repair is needed, Love will waive the $95 service fee. And should you need a new furnace, Love is a Heil Heating and Cooling dealer. Call Love today, 317-353-2141. Let Love and Heil take care of your home today. 317-353-2141. Tell them JMV sent you.
The Morning Checkdown on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
I'm Kirk Darling. The Indianapolis Colts hung in there with Phillip Rivers at quarterback, but a late-game drive by the Seahawks gave them the game-winning field goal. Seattle wins 18-16.
Obviously disappointing. Got to find a way to finish the game. Had our chance there at the end. Didn't get it done. Thought there was some good. Obviously some stuff to clean up, but got to finish games in this league.
Head coach Shane Steichen. Rivers threw for 120 yards and a touchdown. They have the 49ers at home next week. A Heisman moment for the Hoosiers QB1.
This moment, it's an honor. It's bigger than me. It's a product of a family, team, community, and a whole lot of people who believed in me.
Fernando Mendoza holding college football's highest honor on Saturday. He's the first player from Indiana to win the Heisman. The college football playoff starts this weekend. I'm Kirk Darling for 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Going. What are you talking about?
This is
championship has been captured by the Indiana Pacers. Alex Pillow wins the 109th Indianapolis 500.
This is the Fan Morning Show with KB, JB, and Jeff.
Blake Ruby is on for about a 55-yarder here. This would be his longest make of the season. Ball in the right hash. Sanchez to put it down. Snap. There's the placement. And the kick clears the line, heading downfield for the uprights, and it is good! Ha-ha! 2-by-2 formation for Rivers. Looking over that defense, 4 on the play clock. Takes a step, 3-step drop, looking, throws inside the 5, touchdown for the Colts, and it's Josh Downs across the goal line. Jason Myers has been heavily used today. This is his 4th attempt. There's a 32-yard field goal. Kick is up and headed for the uprights, and it's good. The Colts trail by 2, and Blake Grupe is on for a 60-yard field goal. This one from 60 as Rigoberto Sanchez is prepared. Let's see if young Mr. Grupe in his 3rd year can knock down a huge field goal. Snap, placement, kick on the way. Headed downfield for the uprights. It's good. Wow. Wow. Whoa. It's good from 60. Blake Grupe. So this is going to be a 56-yard field goal. Myers snap. Gets into it. Sends it downfield. Headed for the uprights, and it's good.
As the game just got going, I was just thankful, grateful that I was out there. And it was a blast. It was a blast, but obviously the emotions now are disappointment, right? Disappointment. This isn't about me. We got a team that was scrapping like crazy to try to stay alive and get in the postseason. So obviously we're all disappointed. Came up just short.
It's a 2-minute drive. They hit the plays. They hit plays there at the end to get them in field goal range. I mean, that was the bottom line. We were in zone. We had some blitzes up. And they needed whatever they needed, 20 yards to get into range, and they got it done. Obviously, it's disappointing anytime you lose, but we're guaranteed 3 left, and had a chance to win 1 today. But now we got another opportunity to go do it again on Monday night against San Francisco, and we're excited for that challenge.
On the road to the Seattle Seahawks with Phillip Rivers under center. Gave his team a chance to win, but I don't know how much more I want to see of that. Good morning, Kevin Bowen, and we've got our third member of the booth on the road traveling back from the game this morning, James Boyd. Nice job there on the open there, Mark Dykton, but so many places we can go with this. I'm going to let you start, Kevin Bowen. What do you make of what happened yesterday?
Well, when you've won one game since Halloween, it's hard to celebrate moral victories. That's kind of where I'm at on this Monday morning. It's almost like you're evaluating a 44-year-old dude off the couch who hasn't played in 5 years. And my brief thoughts are very commendable, hat tip, movie, all that stuff. And then if you're evaluating the NFL game itself, you're saying, wait, is that offense sustainable? Are you telling me Riley Leonard couldn't do that? Is that really the limitations on where the Colts are at right now? And again, it's just hard to sit here and say, man, wasn't that Rivers thing cool? And boy, that was wild. And it was almost one of the biggest upsets the NFL has seen all year. All that is true, but you're reeling, and this ship is sinking fast. I mean, you lost 5 of 6, and you look at your playoff hopes, and it's fading in a hurry here. And I don't know, maybe we're just kind of numb to these late season collapses. Maybe we're used to it. So you kind of gravitate towards wanting to celebrate Rivers and everything that he is attempting to do. But it's just hard for me to sit here on this Monday morning and do that, because right now you're a team that, once again, with 3 weeks to go, is on the outside looking in and is going to have to turn it around in a hurry with an offense that looks like it's built in the 1970s to try and win 2 of these final 3 games.
Yeah, look, all the things that you said, unbelievable story for Phillip Rivers. To be able to just walk on an NFL field after 3 days of practice and look like he wasn't uncomfortable. It didn't look like he was frightened or afraid of it or anything like that. He stood there in the pocket a couple of times waiting for things to happen. He's obviously got no mobility. He gets them in and out of the right play calls. There's no question about that. He makes good decisions. He doesn't turn the ball over. But, Kevin, here's the thing you can't run from. And I meant that to be a little bit of a pun. Here's the thing that he can't run from that we can't run from. He can't throw the ball downfield. Can't throw the ball more than 8 yards downfield. It's just not happening. And there were a couple of times where he made good decisions and he throws a ball to a little bit of an outside route, maybe 5-6 yards downfield, and you're literally, as the ball's in the air, saying, get there, get there. Get there before the defensive back does. There are a couple of plays I thought he had Tyler Warren open on a few of those type things, and the defensive back had just enough time because the margins are so slim. You know that better than anybody, Kevin. The margins are so slim between if the ball gets there now and if the ball gets there now. It's that thin sometimes. He can't throw the football. I love the story. I love the guy. I love what happened. I love that he almost pulled it off, but he can't. You cannot win in the NFL with what we saw yesterday.
Yeah, and I said to you guys late last week, I would start Riley Leonard. That's the route that I was looking towards, especially when he practiced fully Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I think I asked both you and James on Friday, would you rather start a healthy Riley Leonard or whatever we're going to see from Phillip Rivers? Because it's just, Alec Pierce is arguably your most consistent offensive weapon, certainly your most unique offensive weapon. 1 target in every single snap on the field yesterday. 60 snaps.
A great catch, too, on that
for
target,
Alec Pierce. Yeah. And so you are just totally neutering him. Basically, the blueprint is you try to run on first down, you try to run on second down, you hope and pray you get to 3rd and 4, and then, like you said, you pull out the rosary beads and hope that the ball gets there somehow, some way on time on 3rd and 4. And that's just the reality of where you're at right now. And, I feel a little bit on this Monday morning about how I felt after the Kansas City game and talking about the Colts defense. There is so much that they deserve credit for yesterday. Playing without 3 of their notable defenders, if not their best defenders. And yet, when the game is on the line, did anyone have confidence they'd get that final stop?
No.
I sure as hell didn't.
You kind of knew what was going to happen.
And again, Seattle had no timeouts, and they didn't even need what? They barely needed half of the 47 seconds that they had. I mean, just so easily getting into that field goal range there to win it. So, I mean, you are down a slew of notable guys, probably 5, 6 of your top, 10, 12 most important players. But in mid-December, when you've lost now 5 of 6, again, you've won 1 game since Halloween. You just can't sit here on Monday morning and say, here's a bunch of rose petals for the effort. It's just not the reality for the 2025 season. And when this ship is looking like it's trending in the direction of maybe the biggest collapse we've seen in the NFL in over a decade, it's just hard for me on this Monday morning to sit here and, play the whole, boy, did you hear Phillip Rivers' post-game comments and all of that? It's like, I don't know. I just, it's really difficult for me to go there, Jeff. And again, I would have started Riley Leonard, and I would continue to start Leonard, because I think not only are you neutering Pierce, I think in a way you're neutering Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor looked like Army and Navy running it yesterday, of just
3 yards in a cloud of dust.
Literally.
Let's go.
And, if you had a little bit more of okay, potentially this quarterback could keep it, maybe that opens up another number in the box. And I get it. Leonard would probably have a turnover or 2, but I think you would have the ability to just potentially create a little bit more offensively and not have an NFL offense in the year of 2025 that has a ceiling on it that's, 8 yards long.
Yeah, and again, I can't emphasize enough how amazing it was to watch Phillip Rivers do what he did. He didn't look like a fish out of water. He really didn't. The biggest problem he had is zero mobility and no arm. But he knew, you could tell he knew what was happening at the line of scrimmage. He was directing guys. He was putting them in the right spots. He was probably checking out of plays and getting into other plays, all those kinds of things. But here's the one statistic that you cannot hide from. Did you think Sam Darnold was particularly great yesterday, Kevin?
No.
He was okay.
Yeah.
Right? He was okay.
And threw for what, 270?
271 yards,
Right.
but here's the stat.
Some notable drops, too.
Here's the stat. He averaged, in his very average pedestrian day, 7.5 yards per attempt. Do you know what Phillip Rivers averaged per attempt yesterday?
Yeah, it was 4.4.
4.4.
Yeah. That is just
you cannot win in the National Football League throwing 4.4 yards per attempt.
Yeah, to add some context around that, it is easily the worst of the season. It would easily be the worst of Phillip Rivers' 2020 season. As an offense, they averaged 3.7 yards per play. Again, just to throw context around it, that is a awful, awful number. Do want to give a shout-out to Blake Grupe. That kick from 60 yards, the Matt Taylor motion, well worth it on that kick. Just unbelievable. The Colts have certainly been struck by Grupe's swagger in his brief period with the Colts. I think the whole NFL world got a glimpse of it yesterday in what he was able to do there. And defensively, early on, you helped set the tone. You helped create the multi-score lead, short fields, tons of playmaking behind the line of scrimmage. Latu with arguably his best half as a pro. And then the second half, I think just caught up to you. I think Seattle had 5 of their 6 drives to end the game were scoring drives. And there at the end, just you have the 4-man rush on first down. Absolutely no show in terms of pressure on Sam Darnold. You bring both safeties on second down, and Darnold throws to the other side, gets Shaheed for the 8-yard gain. At that point, it was over. And, maybe some of it goes back to the kickoff. Could you have squid that kick, a la what Jason Myers did to you after that? I do think that is something that you could have explored there, but it's just I don't remember. Tampa Bay last year was probably one, but I can't remember how too many times in this. Really, I guess I'll call it the Ballard era, where your defense has finished a game. Close the door with the big play, with the big pass breakup, sack, and really in that drive, Jeff, the big play could have just been a 9-yard gain over the middle that you tackle them in bounds. Because with no timeouts, they are desperate. If they go 9 yards on you, and you tackle them inbounds both times, they're kicking a 65-yarder for the win, and that ain't going in. So that I think is really, really frustrating. Yeah, a lot of frustrations yesterday. They lose it 18-16, and I know you got the Disney movie, and I get all that. And I felt it was amazing to see, but I don't want to see part 2. I don't want to see the sequel, because if you think it's going to get markedly better between now and next week against another big-time opponent, I can't go there. I can't get there. Yeah, are you watching Disney Plus or are you watching ESPN? Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's a great analogy. I'm sure Mark Dighton can empathize with Disney Plus being watched a whole lot in his household. I don't think Mark has his headphones on in there.
That's okay. He's working hard.
I can hear you. I'm just watching everything melt down in front of me.
Are you talking about the board, or are you talking about
the
Colts
season
at the end of the game?
All inclusive.
All right. So we'll check it down coming up in just a minute. We'll talk more about look, a lot of good things yesterday and some good feelings. But at the end of the day, Colts are even farther behind than they were when the day started. They've still lost 5 of their last 6. That's the reality of the situation. We'll check everything else down for you in a moment, right here on 93.5 and 107.5, The Fan.
Talking about the Patriots.
Get super sure. Not kind of sure, not pretty sure, but super sure. Coming soon.
Jake Query here. Each weekday noon to 3, guests appear live on the Java House Peel and Pour guest line. Use code JAKE25 at javahouse.com to save 25% on your first order.
Hey, JMV here. As winter weather heads our way, AAA wants to make sure you don't get stuck in the snow and the ice. So take advantage of AAA's holiday promotion and join now so you can rest easy knowing the entire family is taken care of. Roadside service requests are simple. Download the AAA mobile app, request service, and track your service responder in real time. The AAA crews are watching the weather closely and are ready for whatever comes our way so you can have peace of mind that if something happens, you will be taken care of. That's the AAA that we all know. So check them out today and become a AAA member. That's AAA.com. As I've mentioned before, this holiday season, what a great gift-giving idea. The membership with AAA. That's AAA.com. And download the mobile app. Do that right now. It is so easy. That's AAA.com. Download the mobile app. Tell them JMV sent you. JMV here, and guys, you've heard of TRT, but you have no idea what testosterone can do for you. Once you start treatment, you'll wish you had done it sooner. Now you can take the TRT test for free at Center Gen X and Low T Center. Walk in before 10 a.m. or book ahead at FixMyLowT.com. The place for guys to go is Center Gen X and Low T Center for TRT. The TRT test is free, not hundreds of dollars. The testosterone is pure, not compounded. Guys feel full of energy, not like they're still waiting for it to kick in. Get in now for your free TRT test. No appointment necessary before 10 a.m. or book ahead at FixMyLowT.com. Guys, you're going to wish you had started TRT sooner. Don't you just want to know your level? Find out with the free TRT test at Center Gen X and Low T Center. Walk in before 10 a.m. or book ahead at FixMyLowT.com. That's FixMyLowT.com. Center Gen X and Low T Center. Get that free T test today. FixMyLowT.com.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Price Point Comfort Heating and Cooling. Owner James Swindle says competitors focused on revenue typically fail.
I've been doing this 31 years in Indianapolis, and I've worked for other companies, and one day we're, how many customers did we take care of? And then the new owners come in, and how much revenue did we produce today? As soon as the talking point changes, the customers see the difference, they feel the difference, and they know the difference. We're not that. Our focus is always take care of the customer.
See the difference by going to PricePointComfort.com. Price Point Comfort is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
107.5 The Fan and Franciscan Health present Good for the Heart Fridays. Listen to Jake Query every Friday to hear a heartwarming story from our local community. Jake knows firsthand the importance of heart health. Jake and The Fan have teamed up with Franciscan Health to make a difference, one beat at a time. Good for the Heart Fridays, brought to you by Franciscan Health Heart Center. Learn proactive measures to keep your heart healthy and schedule your heart scan at franciscanhealth.org/screening bundles. So what's in the bag today? Yesterday's leftovers? Another lunch meat sandwich? Well, go ahead and pull up a rock and settle in for a half hour of I wish I was eating something else. Or you could be eating something else, or someplace else. If you're brown bagging it at the corner of 30th and Shadeland area, drop over to His Place Eatery for 30 minutes of why didn't I know about this place sooner? Nothing fancy, not a lot of frills. They save that for the quality of the meal, like ribs that fall off the bone, southern fried chicken, sides that will cause your taste buds to thank you into tomorrow. Put that in your brown bag and eat it. Better yet, bank the bag. Go to His Place Eatery at the corner of 30th and Shadeland, or the newest location off 86th and Ditch Road. Your dirty boots and work clothes are welcome here. His Place, your place for lunch. Go to hisplaceeatery.com to learn more. Food insecurity is an urgent problem, one that impacts real Hoosiers. You can help today. Gleaners needs donations. Your contribution goes further with Gleaners. For every $10 you give, Gleaners leverages their resources to turn your $10 into $90 worth of groceries for families who desperately need help right now. Your gift benefits local community members, and every dollar counts. Gleaners also needs volunteers now to help with warehouse distribution. Go to gleaners.org and donate or get involved today.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Man, I love seeing the old gang at these reunions. Did you see Brian? He's in better shape than he was 25 years ago. How is that even possible? Yep, I ran into him a few weeks ago and had to ask. He told me he started taking Nugenix Total T2. The testosterone booster? Yeah, but it's way more than that now. It also skyrockets your nitric oxide in as little as 3 hours. I started taking it right away and I'm already seeing results. I was wondering what you were doing. You seriously crushed me in that pickup game last week. Yep, after 40, energy, strength, drive, it all starts going downhill. But with T2, I feel like my old self again. Stronger, leaner, and my energy is way up. My wife even noticed a difference. They're giving out complimentary bottles right now. Just send them a text.
Text CAR to 321-321 for your complimentary bottle of new Nugenix Total T2. Text now and you'll also get a free bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator. That's CAR to 321-321. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. Product not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The Morning Checkdown on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Colts, they had a 16-15 lead with less than 2 minutes to go, but defense couldn't hold up after a 60-yard field goal gave them that lead from Blake Grupe. They allowed the Seahawks to get in position for a 56-yard field goal, which would be the game winner for Jason Myers, 1 of 6 for him on the day. The Colts struggle again. They are down to 8-6. They are still, Kevin, in the 8th spot in the AFC playoff race. Unfortunately, Houston's in that number 7 spot. Houston's already got a head-to-head win and a 1 full game lead over the Colts as we speak. So they're going to have to get a little bit of help along the way in addition to just winning football games.
Yeah, I mean, the Colts got no help in Week 15. That 1 o'clock window was brutal for them. Obviously, they didn't do their own part, but yeah, Houston rolls, Jacksonville rolls, the Chargers beating the Chiefs. Obviously, the Patrick Mahomes torn ACL will be the national storyline of the day, along with Micah Parsons. Even like the Ravens winning, the Bills winning, some of those games didn't go the Colts' way. So, yes, they are going to have to win 2 of 3 in all likelihood. If you want to pick the 2, you want the AFC South games. Again, it's important to win all 3. I do believe if they win their final 3, for what it's worth, they would be in. But obviously, that's a tall task. It'll be the 49ers coming up a week from tonight inside of Lucas Oil Stadium.
Don't want to bury the storyline that the NFL was goo-goo over all week long. Phillip Rivers did start the game. He finished the game. It was 18 of 27 for 120 yards, 1 touchdown to Jonathan Taylor, 1 interception at the very end, kind of a desperation throw that went awry. But if you had to describe Phillip Rivers and his performance yesterday in 3 words, what would they be, Kevin Bowen?
Dink and dunk.
At best.
The poster child of it. I mean, yeah, very efficient from 0 to 10 yards, and then I think it's 2 of 8 from north of 10. So, yeah, just a really archaic, dinosaur-like Colts offense. I really didn't think anything was that unexpected from Rivers. I thought for the most part it looked like what I would have guessed. Got the ball out rapidly, quick. He treated Amir Abdullah like he was 2020 Nyheim Hines with how many touches he gave him out of the backfield there. But, when the ball needed to go vertical down the field, it was really non-existent there. So, again, if you want to grade him off the couch of the Disney Plus episode, commendable. If you're grading him on an NFL curve and the Colts desperately need a win, he obviously failed in that regard.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor had 87 yards and a touchdown receiving. Sam Darnold, 22 of 36 for 271 yards. And Jackson Smith and Jigba didn't have a monster game, but still ended up with 113 yards and some big catches down the stretch.
Well, and again, that final drive, it started with the kickoff. I think with this new kickoff rule, you got to squib it. You have to be able to create some sort of clock moving. They try to kind of coffin corner it. That did not work at all. And then, boom, first down, Kwity Paye chips Jackson Smith and Jigba off the line. So then it's like a 3.5-man rush. Not that it would have mattered. And, boom, Darnold finds Shaheed, and they can easily spike it. And now the clock doesn't even really matter for them at that point there. So just a brutal, brutal sequence there after Grupe made the kick of his life.
Prior to the start of the Colts game, the Pacers got underway, and those two games intersected for a while. Indiana led by a score of 32-31 against the Washington Wizards after one period of play over at the Fieldhouse, but then they just went ice cold and couldn't get anything done. In the second and third quarters combined, Kevin, Indiana shot from three-point range 2 of 18. They only scored 15 points in the second quarter, 19 points in the third quarter. Washington pulled away, and the Wizards win it 108-89. That's the second worst team in the NBA right now. That's their fourth win of the year. That was disappointing on the second screen yesterday.
Yeah, that's a nice way to put it. I'd say probably the worst performance of the season for the Pacers. Andrew Nembhard missed his first 11 shots from the field. I know he was questionable coming into the game, but just off from him. Yeah, the Wizards stink. And you go back to Friday night, you're up 5 there with about 7 minutes to go on Philly. You're thinking to yourself, oh boy, if you can pull this one out. And then all of a sudden you get the Wizards at home on Sunday, but none of that. That game got away from you. Joel Embiid was Joel Embiid on Friday night. And then obviously yesterday, just horrific, frankly. Yeah, shout out to the couple thousand people that probably went to that game.
Marvin Bagley III had 23 points and 14 rebounds. The leading scorer yesterday for the Indiana Pacers, it was not pretty. 15 points from Benedict Mathurin. They just couldn't shoot the basketball. As a matter of fact, they were 10 of 39 from three-point range, KB. 26%. You're not going to beat a lot of NBA teams doing that. They just couldn't play very good basketball yesterday. Over the weekend in college basketball, Kentucky beat Indiana by a score of 72-60. The Hoosiers will now host Chicago State on Saturday. Any takeaways from that game?
Yeah, I mean, huge missed opportunity. I mean, you're up 7 at halftime of that game. It would be a true road win on the resume. That would help you out. And now you leave the non-conference with really little of note on the resume with how Marquette and Kansas State have played so far this season. I don't think, from a glass standpoint, that is something that will be a question for them all season long as they shift gears here into Big Ten play. So great opportunity to get a quality road win, and they don't get it.
All right, so also on college basketball Saturday, Purdue over Marquette, 79-59. Braden Smith becomes only the second collegiate player in NCAA Division I history that has now racked up 1,500 points, 850 assists, and 550 rebounds. He just keeps filling up that stat box, but more importantly, he just keeps making key plays for the Boilermakers.
I got to talk a little Butler Providence. That game was one of the wilder college basketball games I've seen in quite a while. Shout out to Michael Ajayi, one of the more impressive hustle plays I've seen at the end of the second overtime. He gets stuffed on a dunk by the rim, yet sticks with it, gets a loose ball on the ground. It gets kicked out to the Burbuff product, Evan Haywood, who had a great game. He bangs one home. Butler, much needed at home over Providence, 113-110 in the blizzard in double OT. They will now go to UConn coming up tomorrow night. So just a really fun game. I was very happy to be stuck inside for that one.
Fifth-ranked UConn on Tuesday. And by the way, you talked about Evan Haywood scored 5 of his 18 in that second overtime, coming up big, and Ajayi did score 28 points to lead all scorers there. Anything else over the weekend that you wanted to make note of?
Well, you got to mention Fernando Mendoza and the Heisman voting that was on Saturday night. We thought, okay, could this be a close race? It was not a close race at all. 643 total votes for him. Diego Pavia had 189. Jeremiah Love third with 46. Those are first place votes, by the way. And Mendoza won every region, which, I think is something that the Heisman committee does, is when they send out those results, kind of shows you nationwide. For him to win the SEC region, if you will, the South, was also of note there. So I think it took Maddie Bowen about 48 seconds into Mendoza's speech before she was crying. So, yeah, just awesome to see. It was certainly one of the more uniquely, I think, wired athletes that we will see. We'll have Heisman Trophy winners that have better stat lines than him, but just the whole story, how he embraces it, how he approaches on and off the field. It's really a shame that, we only get to see him for 1 year because, again, he just brings so much good to the game of college sports right now, which I know is oft criticized.
You talk about Maddie, and I actually caught Mrs. Rickard on the couch later that night rewatching the speech.
Really?
Because she liked it so much.
Well, and I thought it was cool, too. Ralph Russo, who we've had on the show, longtime national college football writer, he said he had covered, I think it was over 20 Heisman Trophy ceremonies. He said that was the first time he's ever seen the winner's teammates show up. It looked like there was about a dozen or so of his teammates that showed up to the ceremony and all of that. So that was just a really cool scene as well on Saturday night.
Since that announcement, Diego Pavia has gone viral for a couple of incidents that probably don't shine too favorably on him either, Kevin. I don't know if you saw that.
He strikes me maybe from the Manziel tree.
That was. I was getting a lot of Johnny Manziel vibes with him and his boys walking down the street, New York.
His brothers don't look like you want to see them and Mark Sanchez in an alley anywhere.
The only folks not intimidated by those would be the Jokic brothers, because they all are a foot and a half taller than those guys. All right. Coming up in a moment, as Mark says, break, we will talk more about Phillip Rivers and the Indianapolis Colts. What happens now? The story was tremendous until it wasn't. Now what? We'll talk about it next. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
Family-owned Cynthia's Hallmark has gifts for everybody on your list this holiday season. One of the big sellers, the new DC UK Company ducks. These charming hand-carved bamboo root ducks with cute outfits and sweet names have been flying off the shelves. And while you're finding the perfect gift, check out the newest treasures from the Jim Shore collection. The snowman with the cardinal, absolutely heart-melting. And the Jim Shore Grinch sewing his Santa suit, with Max supervising, of course, is an instant favorite. Speaking of the Grinch, Cynthia's in Greenfield and on Allisonville Road carry the entire Grinch Light Up Village by Department 56. And yes, they also have the full Christmas Vacation Light Up Village for all you Clark Griswold fans. The beauty of Willow Tree figurines and ornaments are so personal and make such a memorable gift. Planning holiday parties? Don't forget my favorite, the easy-to-make award-winning Wind and Willow dips and cheese ball mixes. Your guests are going to love them. Shop family-owned Cynthia's Hallmark this holiday season. 116th and Allisonville Road, 96th and Lantern Road, 116th and Brook School Road, and in Greenfield.
It happens every holiday. Food comas, piles of wrapping paper, Uncle Harold's asleep in the recliner. It's only $5.45. But then, Cousin John rolls in with holiday scratch-offs from the Hoosier Lottery. Starting at just $1, they're the perfect gift for making the most of the one time of year all 30 cousins are gathered together in one living room. Unwrap instant fun with holiday scratch-offs. Hoosier Lottery, champions of play. Must be 18 or older to play. Gift responsibly.
This college football moment is brought to you by Serve Pro.
College football teams have moments they recovered from and made it like it never even happened. Like on September 24, 2016, when Tulsa found themselves down 31-0 to Fresno State. With 10 minutes left in the second quarter, Tulsa fought back to tie the game at 41. And then won 48-41 in double overtime.
Serve Pro. Like it never even happened.
Getting more as a MyLowe's Pro Rewards member is easier than ever with the Lowe's app. Download it today and earn 500 points the first time you log in. Plus, your digital wallet helps you scan, save, earn, and access what you need to manage it all in one place. Download the Lowe's app and take advantage of your Pro benefits today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid 12/1/25 through 1/7/26. Offer valid for first login per organization only. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Additional restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
Hi, I'm Lexi, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. We'll help you find last-minute gifts that don't look last-minute, even if you're still planning to propose. At Shane Company, we'll show you perfect gifts at perfect prices, in stock and ready to give. Like hand-matched diamond studs, 14-karat gold chains, or the ultimate gift, a beautiful engagement ring. We have longer store hours, so you can skip the crowds and shop when you want, or visit us at shaneco.com. Because a friend wants you to be a holiday hero. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Want to get smarter with your money in 2025? You've got to try Upside. Upside is a free app that gives you cash back. Turn your daily commute, your next grocery run, or your next restaurant meal into cash back. You can earn an average 8% cash back on grocery and dining. That's on top of other credit card rewards.
I started using the app in January, and I've almost made $100. I'm estimating by the end of year, I'll make between $200 to $300.
I get cash back at all my regular spots, and when I discover new stores and restaurants.
To me, Upside is the best cashback app out there. I get exclusive deals and discounts that reward me with real cash.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back when you fill up your gas tank. Stock up on groceries or grab a meal from your favorite restaurant. And right now, use promo code CHIPS25 and get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code CHIPS25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code CHIPS25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions.
The gold standard for hair restoration right here in Indianapolis. That would be We Grow Hair Indy, Northwest Side, building number 2 at the Pyramids. The best in the business. You go online at WeGrowHairIndy.com. You're going to see before and after pictures that they offer you and some videos as well. And I think that's a good start just to see exactly, wow, those results are no joke. And then from there, you obviously are going to have questions. And that's where you contact them. Private evaluation, free evaluation, virtual evaluation. All of that is available to you at We Grow Hair Indy. Again, they are the gold standard for hair restoration. And at the very least, you owe it to yourself to get answers to the questions that you have. So that is WeGrowHairIndy.com. And up on the Northwest Side, building number 2, We Grow Hair Indy.
My anaconda don't. My anaconda don't. My anaconda don't want none unless you got buns, hun.
Previously on the Fan Morning Show.
Just taking another look at the Phillip Rivers avatar in the Madden 26. James, they put some junk in that trunk for that.
Oh my God, Becky, look at her butt.
That's a big looking man right there, man. How would you look at that? You're looking at the from behind Phillip Rivers there.
That is a simulation of a fat ass there.
They put some weight on that boy.
Oh, geez, look at the butt on that. Yeah. He must work out.
I mean, you mentioned it as Tim Allen was to the Santa Claus.
Does this look like a little weight to you? I've gained 45 pounds in a week.
It's not like he's rolling out like a Homer Simpson potbelly, though, is he?
Woohoo! Look at that blubber fly. Yes. Nurse, cancel my 1 o'clock.
I don't know.
Well, you were there in the room. Like, how big? How
I tried to go touch the guy's stomach and lift his shirt.
No, I'm just saying, you were in the room. How much bigger did he look than the last time?
He certainly put on some weight.
Damn, boy. Damn, boy, he's thick. Boy, that's a thick-ass boy.
I find it amusing to see what the avatar was for Madden. That's all.
You're sick. You know that? You're really sick. I'm not sick. Yes, you are. That's sick. That's a sick thing to do. Girl, you look good when you back that ass up.
Well, he was able to get him 16 points and put him in position to get a win. I mean, here's the thing I will say about Phillip Rivers. He wasn't a huge difference maker, but he gave them a chance to win yesterday. Is that the nicest thing you can say about that performance yesterday? It was inspiring for all the reasons we've talked about, and I'm here for that part of it. And I thought, oh my gosh, for a minute after they got him that field goal at the end, I thought, are we going to talk about Phillip Rivers pulling this off tomorrow? The one thing I will say, and I was texting back and forth with some people yesterday, he did give them an opportunity to win that football game, Kevin. You can't say that.
Are we just ignoring Mark's re-entry there?
No. I was saying, because it makes me sound like I was just ragging on Phillip all week long for being a little overweight.
It's one of the few things that works today, so we better appreciate it.
That thing was epic. That thing was like a 3-minute long description of Jeff talking about Phillip Rivers' ass.
I know. It was glorious. I wanted James to hear that, so I'm glad James was able to join us so that he could hear that.
Boy, I'm sure, a 3:45 a.m. alarm for James Boyd to hear Jeff talking about Phillip Rivers' butt.
Good morning. I believe it was junk in the trunk was the line. Good morning, James Boyd. How's Seattle this morning?
It's dark. Getting ready to leave the hotel. Flight got pushed back, but happy to talk to you guys.
So what was your big takeaway of the Phillip Rivers experience for the Colts yesterday?
I think how much it hurt him. After the game, he was so emotional, and there were two sides of it. There was the gratitude to be back out there, oldest quarterback officially in Colts history to play a game, but the pain of not being the third quarterback to win a game at 44 or older in the NFL. So you could tell that how quickly he switched from being, like he said last week, a fan of the team and watching every game to now going through the agony of realizing, man, we were this close to, snapping our losing streak, and keyword hour, because he used hour and we so frequently like he had been here all year. and then trying to, give this team some hope. So they're not dead yet. They do have a chance, and I think you still are encouraged a little bit after yesterday's performance, but yet again, it's a fourth straight loss.
James, I don't get any vibe that it will be anyone other than Phillip Rivers a week from tonight starting under center. Do you get any vibe that they will rethink their quarterback situation?
No, not at all. And Kevin, you know me well enough. Had there been any inkling, I would have asked flat out, like, should he still be out there at his age or, given his performance? But I thought he actually did pretty fine. And given the fact that Seattle is one of the top defenses, if not the top defense in the league, I thought he played very well, considering that this is a team that prior to yesterday hadn't given up a touchdown in 2 weeks. So I get everyone saying, oh, Riley Leonard could have did the same thing. Are you sure? Because other quarterbacks have, tried to do the same, and they failed. So Phillip did do something that other quarterbacks haven't done over the last 2 games.
James, what did you see on that final drive from the Colts defense?
I thought they were just too soft, honestly. Maybe playing off a little bit more, and maybe you don't trust your guys as much in situations like that because you don't have Travarius Ward and you don't have Sauce Gardner out there. It feels bad to say, like, oh, man, the defense lost in the game because they didn't allow a touchdown. But at the same time, those are the moments where, again, you have to be able to close, and they weren't able to do it. Talked to Latu Latu in the locker room, and he mentioned, that he felt kind of bad for himself in a way. Not saying that he's throwing a pity party, but he was like, yo, I should have been better there because I feel like Sam Darnold had too much time, and giving him too much time against those cornerbacks, it worked out for him.
James Boyd on the road joining us on the Payless Liquors hotline right now. We knew that the Colts offensive line was a little banged up going into that game, and then we lost Bernhard Raimann in the middle of the game. Where is that offensive line headed this week?
I'm not sure how Bernhard Raimann will fare going forward. He did have a huge brace on his right elbow before the game was over, and then after the game, Shane Steichen did not have much of an update. We'll hear from him later today. But if he is down, they have to go with a guy, Luke Tenuta, who hadn't played real snaps in an NFL game since 2022. And I believe he had only played like 7 offensive snaps even then. So very inexperienced. And again, that goes back to what I was saying about Phillip Rivers. You can criticize the performance and not scoring more points, but he was doing a lot of that with 2 backup tackles.
James, last one from me from a offensive standpoint, shifting gears now a week from Monday. Shane said something along the lines of, and I'm paraphrasing here, but, we will open things up a little bit more, whatever, expand the playbook a little bit more. What exactly does that look like? Because I don't think the arm of Phillip Rivers allows you to really expand it much more, but maybe I'm wrong on that.
I'm not exactly sure. Maybe that has to do a lot with what Seattle was doing and how stout their defense is. I will say I do think that there are some timing and chemistry things they could probably get better at, because watching that game live, Kevin, I'm sitting there, all the guys on press row, and just saying they need a turnover or they need to be able to score another touchdown to finish this game. And I thought that the other touchdown opportunity was the Josh Downs, not the short one he caught, but the long one where they were not on the same page. And if he gets his head around sooner, that to me is a walk-in touchdown. You put immense pressure on Seattle and you're winning that game. So perhaps that's more of what they mean by opening it up, just having more chemistry with those guys. But for the most part, I wouldn't expect him to, throw it 50 yards down the field. But the Bengay was working out pretty well yesterday for the old guy. Yeah,
like I said, how do you not like Phillip Rivers? How do you not root for him? How do you not root for that story? I just worry about the fact that he averaged 4.5 yards, less than 4.5 yards per attempt, and even some of those shorter sideline routes, like those defenders almost got there on plays they shouldn't have almost got there. That's what worries me, and I don't know how you fix that, James.
That's a good point, but at the same time, I go back to the throw on their penultimate drive, the one that put him ahead, where he throws it back shoulder to Alec Pierce before Pierce even turned around. Is that a throw Riley Leonard's going to make in that moment? I'm not so sure about that. So to me, it's not necessarily about the arm strength. Well, that's a big part of it. It's, can you make a few throws down the field just to give him a chance? And again, like I said, you connect on a couple more in yesterday's game, and perhaps we're sitting here today talking about, a Hollywood ending.
James, travel safe. Thanks for checking in as always, and we'll talk to you soon, okay?
Yes, I'm glad to get back on Eastern time. This Pacific time zone stuff is crazy.
All right, buddy.
See you tomorrow, James.
There you go. James Boyd, third member of our booth, on the road with the Indianapolis Colts. They lose yesterday 18-16, a game that featured 9 field goals and 1 touchdown, Kevin.
How about those 2 kickers yesterday?
They were getting it done. They were getting it done. I'm almost hoping between the distance and how many field goals he'd had, wasn't part of you like, okay, this is the one where he drifts off just a little bit to the right.
Boy, he's got that patented cut, right? Wouldn't we all love to have that ball flight on the golf course there? Just a little 3-yard cut every time there from Jason Myers. Last week when we got into this debate as the week moved along, I think I said to you guys quite often, we're probably splitting hairs in describing the differences of these quarterbacks that potentially could go out there. And really, I guess it boiled down to Rivers or Riley Leonard. Again, I still would have rather seen Riley Leonard, particularly healthy. And this is coming from a guy that I think our audience knows this. I've never been the biggest Riley Leonard guy. Jeff, you saw my reaction.
You're a Notre Dame guy, and you weren't a big Riley Leonard guy.
After he was drafted. But I think the threat of him running the football, I think the threat of him trying to throw the ball down the field would offer a little bit more for this offense. And I do think that would give you, I guess, just a little bit of a higher ceiling, and whereas the defense just doesn't have to sit there, within 8 yards of the line of scrimmage and play the game that way, which is what they do with Rivers. Because I think not only does it largely eliminate Alec Pierce from the game plan, Jeff, I think it really stymies your run game. I mean, what was Jonathan Taylor's long run yesterday? I mean, the guy had 1 million carries yesterday. You had 2 plays over 15 yards all game.
11 yards was his longest run.
And how many carries did he have?
He had 25.
I mean, 2 plays over 15 yards all game.
There were a 3 Jonathan Taylor patented plays, though, where it looks like he stopped for nothing and he wiggles forward for 4 or 5 yards.
Like, I don't care what you want to measure. Yards per attempt from Rivers as a thrower or yards per play as an offense as a whole. I mean, those numbers are absolutely horrific. However you slice it. I mean, those are just horrific numbers offensively here. So, again, maybe we are splitting hairs. Maybe with Leonard, you would have had 2-3 turnovers. And at the end of the day, the final score wouldn't have looked much different from a point total standpoint. But I just think with this archaic of an offense, you need so much to be perfect. And think about it. They almost got perfect everywhere. Mm-hmm. Blake Grupe kicked the life out of it.
He was terrific.
Your defense, until that final drive, gave you everything you would have probably wanted in that game. And yet it still wasn't enough to get it done. So, again, I asked James the question, but I don't get any. I fully expect Philip Rivers to be the starter next Monday. I think Shane Steichen is all in on this. And I asked this in all seriousness. Where are the improvements? It's not like there's going to be even I guess Josh Downs maybe gets his head around a little quicker on that throw, but his arm isn't going to grow in arm strength in the next week. It's not like you're saying, oh, he only knew X amount of the playbook. No, I mean, Philip Rivers, by all accounts, you brought him in because he has a mastery of the playbook. So it's not like you're going to necessarily, implement a little bit more into the passing tree that you had, because I just think there's a clear limitation. Anytime that ball's in the air, you got to pray the rosary that it gets there on time.
Yeah, and look, I want to make this clear too. There were a lot of fun things to watch about Philip Rivers. He's out on the field. He clearly is in command of that offense. That's one thing I did take away. He knows what's going on. He knows what the defense is doing. I think we all kind of figured it would be Philip Rivers-esque in that way, and it was. He delivered that. He never looked like the moment was too big for him. It never looked like, oh my gosh, this guy hasn't played a down of football in 5 years. The only thing I saw.
Did you see the sack?
Well,
I thought the sack was one of the sadder things I've ever seen.
Did you see the last year of Philip Rivers sometimes? But my point being is physically, the mental acumen is still there. He wasn't bothered being in that pocket. You didn't see him getting happy feet or anything like that. He couldn't move, but you didn't see him getting jittery or nervous or anything like that. He was in command of the offense. He knew what he was doing. He can't throw the football. I don't know how you can win in the NFL if you can't throw the football.
Yeah, you're preaching to the choir, Jeff. Look, the Philip Rivers thing, it is inspiring. It's wild. It's the talk of the town. The TD celebration looked like, a little turkey trot game here in Indy, and your uncle's slinging it around the yard and he's talking trash to you. The clip of him pregame going through the call sheet on the field, the viral moment, Mark, we should probably pull that audio at some point. The viral, comments after the game describing the inspiration towards his high school team. CBS is showing his son and his brother in the crowd.
How about the team in the room watching? That was awesome.
That was cool.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Again, are we watching Disney Plus or are we watching an NFL game? Is this like a cool Bluey episode? Or is this like a, wait a minute, are we just simply sweeping under the rug? The Colts are in the midst of the biggest collapse the NFL has seen in over a decade. Because, that's where I struggle on this Monday morning of the big picture 2025 reality of the Colts season is they've won one game since Halloween. They are trending towards not winning the division for an 11th straight year, missing the playoffs for a 5th straight year. And again, the biggest collapse the NFL has seen in over a decade. It's hard for me to sit here and man, that Rivers thing, boy, that was incredible. That was awe-inspiring, all of that. It's like they've lost 5 of 6. And right now, this is looking like a disastrous end to a season that it would have been ludicrous a month and a half ago if you would have said, hey, the Colts aren't going to make the playoffs.
Yeah. And here's the crazy part. How different is this conversation if the Seahawks don't get into field goal position and Jason Myers doesn't get that 6th field goal and the Colts win at 16-15?
Groupie did make a 60-yarder before that, so let's not act like the Colts didn't have a little bit.
But here's my point.
Side of it.
All the things we say are all still true if the Colts win that game 16-15, correct?
Well, you would be in a much better playoff situation.
You would.
Right now, you need wins.
Here's my point. Here's my point. When it comes to the Phillip Rivers discussion, everything we've just talked about, none of that changes even if they win 16-15. He still can't throw the football. So are we having a different discussion because they've won is my question.
Well, and again, this is where it gets really bottom line in the month of December. Given how the season has played out, blowing the lead in Kansas City, losing 2 critical divisional games each of the last 2 weeks, Houston and Jacksonville, so much of what we witness over the course of 60 minutes, it boils down to, did you win or lose? That's just how the standings are right now. And I know I'm probably oversimplifying it, but you have got to somehow make up multiple games given how it looks. And I get that injuries now are starting to really take their toll on this team. And you played yesterday for 3 quarters plus without both your offensive tackles. It's been quite a while since the Colts have had that happen. So the question becomes now of, all right, how do you overcome that? How do you try and somehow, some way, get wins, plurally? You have to win 2 of your last 3 games in all likelihood to get into the dance. And I think that's what, again, makes this conversation really difficult on a Monday because, the Rivers story, if we just talk purely Phillip Rivers as a grandfather coming off the couch 5 years removed from playing in the NFL, 1,800 days since his last NFL pass, so much of that is a movie, and it's awe-inspiring, and it's unbelievable, and it's why it was the talk of the NFL world leading into Sunday. So, that is isolated, Jeff, from, oh my gosh, this team has lost 5 of 6. They've lost 4 in a row. They've won 1 game since Halloween. They're on the verge of maybe the biggest collapse we've seen in the NFL in over a decade. All of that is the big picture 2025 view of it. What does this mean for the future of the franchise? Should Chris Ballard and Shane Steichen be evaluated on this season? Are we just chalking it up to injuries or not? Is this going to be a 10th year of Chris Ballard? Is this going to be a 4th season of Shane Steichen?
It's been an epic collapse. I don't know how else to say it. Michael from Louisville, I think, puts it very well in a text this morning. Applaud and love the effort of the whole team. I really do. But you can't put Rivers out there again. He can only throw the ball 5 to 7 yards, and that is not going to win any of these last 3 games. Either let Leonard play or get AR ready to go. I don't know that AR is ready to go. People keep thinking you just got to get him ready to go.
Yeah,
he can either see or he can't.
Yeah, I guess to answer that, I do not expect Anthony Richardson to be playing. I expect Phillip Rivers to be your starter on Monday. A week from Monday, I expect it to be Phillip Rivers once again. And look, probably one of the more critical people on Riley Leonard, having watched him at Notre Dame. What he would give you is a definite run threat. There's no denying that. I think that would aid Jonathan Taylor a little bit more, and at least an ability to try some things down the field. It's not going to be the ability to, find Amir Abdullah as quickly as you are in a route tree and, whatever. 3rd and 4 becomes, a first down game. That's not Riley Leonard's game. You're not going to get that as consistently as Rivers certainly provided that yesterday. Rivers knew where to go with the ball a whole lot. But is there just a little bit more of potential for this offense? I do think it would have or would be there a little bit more with Leonard. Basically, Rivers creates a high floor and a super low ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
You might be lowering the floor. You probably are lowering the floor with a rookie quarterback, a day 3 starter, and Riley Leonard. But you are also raising the ceiling. To me, there's no denying that. And I don't want to get lost on the run game aspect to that. Because when you, there were a couple of moments in the game where Seattle, you could tell that their principals defensively had them reacting to the quarterback like he was going to keep it. And it was like, no. That can be thrown out the window against the 44-year-old Phillip Rivers.
You really are playing 11 on 10 here when it comes to the running game.
And, Jeff, you just rattled it off. Jonathan Taylor's long carry was what? 11 yards in 25 carries. I don't know if people fully realize the Colts had 2 plays over 15 yards yesterday. That's really hard to do in the NFL. I mean, usually, I want to say the Colts season low before yesterday was 4 such plays. And we're talking, a 13-game season up until this point.
That a 17-yard reception by Tyler Warren and a 16-yard reception by Alec Pierce.
Should we get into the final drive on the defense after the break? Did you have issues in that effort there?
Other than the fact that Seattle did whatever they wanted to do for 5 plays or a couple of plays in a row to get in a field goal
really wasn't
position.
Wasn't even 5 plays.
I don't think it was 5.
I feel like they spiked it on half those plays. All they needed was 2 plays to get into it.
Yeah. So we'll talk about it all. 18-16. Seahawks get the win. Storybook ending didn't quite happen. Phillip Rivers was kind of what we all thought he was going to be. Can't move, can't really throw, is always going to get you in the right play, do some good things. But I don't think that can win in the National Football League, and they had an opportunity to do it yesterday and let it slip away. We'll talk about it next. We'll take some of your texts to 239-1070, maybe even some of your phone calls, also at 239-1070. It's the Fan Morning Show and the Monday morning after, right here on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Audible's romance collection has something to satisfy every side of you, because you can't be pinned down, unless you want to be. Your first love story is free when you sign up for a 30-day trial at audible.com.
I was seriously injured. It was definitely somebody's fault, and I didn't actually know who, so I needed to call someone. I was really happy to have a law firm like Hensley that had ethics. I made the best call.
It happens. Hire Hensley.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Are you looking for a job where you can have a ton of fun and make great money? Twin Peaks is the team for you. They're looking for Twin Peaks girls, cooks, bussers, barbacks, and more. Text WORK, the number 4, TP, to 85,000 to apply. The Fan cares, and if you or someone you care about needs food assistance, we have resources for you, including food distribution locations with an interactive map. Also, learn how you can make a difference for friends and neighbors in need, all at 1075thefan.com.
This Christmas, get a bonus AI Essentials course when you enroll in any My Computer Career IT program by the end of the year. That's a $3,900 value. Attend classes online or on campus. Enjoy lifetime job placement support and IT certifications in high demand. Go to mycomputercareer.edu today and take the free career evaluation. That's mycomputercareer.edu, an elite CompTIA certification partner. Conditions apply to AI offer, and financial aid is available to those who qualify, including the GI Bill.
This is Jim with Jim's Heating and Air Conditioning. If you need help in Boone County or Hamilton County, give us a call.
Just go to jimsheating-air.com. Jim's Heating and Air Conditioning is your trusted local independent American Standard air dealer.
It's JMV for BullseyeEventGroup.com. The Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. All you can eat, all you can drink. Before each Colts home game, make your game day experience the best it can be. Entertained inside the Bullseye Event Center, and the great food from celebrity chef Kelsey Murphy. That and more, and combo up your passes with tickets to the game. That's the BullseyeEventGroup.com Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. Get your passes now. BullseyeEventGroup.com. JMV here. If I want to, I can. Parted down the middle, feathered on the side. thanks to WeGrowHairIndy.com. Back in the 1980s, that's how I did it. We called it the Alford. Today, thanks to WeGrowHairIndy.com or 317-522-2995, I got my hair back, and I can do it all over again. The hair that I want, the hair that I got. Thanks to We Grow Hair Indy. 317-522-2995. Ask for Darren Andrews at WeGrowHairIndy.com today.
Progressive knows there's so many great things about being a sports fan. Like scoring the company box seats. How great is that? Trick plays that actually work. Prevent defense when your team is winning by a lot. And even more preventative prevent defense as they're hanging on by a thread. And of course, saving money when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's pretty great. Just like trick plays that actually work.
Yeah, but how often does that happen?
Complaining about sports, not so great. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Man, I love seeing the old gang at these reunions.
Did you see Brian? He's in better shape than he was 25 years ago. How is that even possible?
Yep, I ran into him a few weeks ago and had to ask. He told me he started taking Nugenix Total T2.
The testosterone booster?
Yeah, but it's way more than that now. It also skyrockets your nitric oxide in as little as 3 hours. I started taking it right away, and I'm already seeing results.
I was wondering what you were doing. You seriously crushed me in that pickup game last week.
Yep, after 40, energy, strength, drive, it all starts going downhill. But with T2, I feel like my old self again. Stronger, leaner, and my energy is way up. My wife even noticed a difference. They're giving out complimentary bottles right now. Just send them a text.
Text CAR to 321-321 for your complimentary bottle of new Nugenix Total T2. Text now and you'll also get a free bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most powerful fat incinerator. That's CAR to 321-321. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. Product not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
From the DriveHubler.com studios, this is 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
WIBC HD2, HD3, Indianapolis. The Pacers are home to face the New York Knicks Thursday evening at 6:30 on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
You're listening to The Fan Morning Show on Sports Radio 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Good morning and welcome into a chilly Monday morning. It's supposed to get a little bit warmer as the week goes along, and that usually brings a little bit of rain, but not too worried about that right now. More importantly for us, and the purpose of this discussion, is what do the Colts do now? They are 8-6 after starting the season off 7-1. They turned to their past, hoping to reignite something to get going in their future. It was, I think, an incredible effort by Phillip Rivers to get off the couch, get out of being a high school football coach, come in and play respectably in a National Football League game. I'm not taking that away, Kevin. For somebody to do that is amazing. But it wasn't quite enough. And you kind of felt like it wasn't going to quite be enough. You thought maybe there was a chance at the very end, but then the defense finally gave way. 6 field goals allowed for the Seattle Seahawks yesterday. They win at 18-16 after Rivers did get the Colts in position for a what could have been a game-winning field goal. A 60-yarder by Blake Grupe, by the way. That made it 16-15, but the Seahawks win at 18-16. I love the story. I love the man. I love all the elements that go into that. But, Kevin, I came away from that game yesterday thinking if they continue to do this, even as well as the defense played at times yesterday, I don't know how you can win with any kind of consistency in the NFL, given the physical abilities that Phillip Rivers has or really doesn't have at this point in time.
Yeah, physical limitations probably where I would put it. We got this text in here from Yelling at Clouds, chimes in here. Is Phillip Rivers' decision going to take Shane Steichen down like the Carson Wentz decision took Frank Reich down? To me, I don't think if and when, I should say if, because I don't think it's when, this regime is moved on from. Jeff, slap my wrist if I point to this Seattle game or if I point to the Phillip Rivers decision. Last week, a popular topic we discussed was people chimed in, this is embarrassing. To me, again, I can sit here and say, I think Riley Leonard should be starting right now. But in the level of embarrassment, you are on your third string quarterback. There is a dose of reality you have to live in here around the NFL. Are there examples of some teams overcoming that? Sure. The Cleveland Browns a few years ago is the poster child of it. What they start 4 different quarterbacks that year and they made the playoffs. This year,
is that the Joe Flacco year?
Right.
Yeah.
This year you could point to Houston a little bit. I mean, Davis Mills goes undefeated. Now again, he's their backup though. To me, where I said last week, I go, the embarrassment is not the one game in Seattle of a valiant effort and a 44-year-old quarterback that clearly has limitations throwing the ball down the field. The embarrassment is we're looking at the biggest collapse the NFL has seen in over a decade. And that's much more than 1 week. That is multi-week, multi-month. The embarrassment is 1 win since Halloween. The embarrassment is one of the longest playoff droughts currently in the NFL, potentially continuing. The longest playoff drought in, 30-plus years for your franchise, potentially reaching a 5th year. Again, 7 of 16 teams make it out of the AFC. Can you imagine 5 years without making the playoffs?
Can you imagine being 7-1 at what point?
Right.
And not being one of those teams?
That's where the embarrassment for me is. Again, when we live in our 24-hour, 48-hour bubble of reacting to yesterday, do I think it should have been Leonard? I do. We had this from Sean here on the text line. Sean goes, you think with our tackles down, we'll call up Michael Orr next after watching The Blind Side?
Probably could watch that movie on Disney Plus too.
You probably
Go
could
get him.
watch that on Disney Plus as well. I thought that would stir up a few more laughs. I chuckled hard at that.
I laughed in the studio, Kevin.
I would laugh, except that I'd be crying laughing at this point in time. Shay55 says, Rivers told us before he ever played that he can't throw it downfield. Colts knew that going in. They had to see that in practice. Also, we knew he had no mobility. Again, he looked like a guy 5 years removed from his last NFL start, from a guy who was always in control of an offense and always knew what he was looking at with the defense and was, from that point of view, was fine. Like that didn't seem rusty at all. Now, we don't know what we don't know as terms of, what was he supposed to be getting into and what kind of sets was he supposed to have here. But it sure looked like he had command of everything. But, man, some of those passes, even of only 8-10 yards, I was like, hurry, hurry, hurry. Did you get that feeling, that sense?
The out one to Pittman on that 3rd and 4. I mean, you're just holding your breath when the ball is in the air. And that's my question for now, a week from tonight, Jeff. What changes? I assume they will dial up a few more shots down the field, which, again, schematically, maybe you can dial it up. But when that ball is hanging in the air, it allows NFL athletes
That's
to make
all
a
they
play.
need. Boom.
And that is the worrisome element to it of, the Josh Downs double move. Like, how many of those can you queue up in a game and for it to work? What did you make of everything post Blake Grupe's 60-yard field goal? What did you make of the final 45 seconds of the game?
No pressure on the quarterback, which they had at one point in the game had done a nice job at getting to Sam Darnold just a little bit. No pressure there. And then, look, everybody talks about prevent defense. I don't know. I'd have to go back and watch the whole thing again. I just know that every time Sam Darnold on that last drive, and it was only a couple of plays, every time he needed to find a receiver, there it was. And there was Smith and Jigba getting open.
I want to start with the kickoff because, frankly,
well, the kickoff screwed him.
I thought that is where you squib it. And if you look at what Seattle did to you with 18 seconds to go, Seattle squibbed it. That took 7 seconds for the Colts to return it. And I want to say the Colts got to like the 30. Maybe it was the 32. Whereas Seattle didn't have to handle the squib. Rashid Shaheed, hell, he probably could have just let the ball go out of bounds. And that would have been 0 time. He ends up returning it. He gets 2 yards past where the touchback or where the out of bounds line would have. I think the out of bounds is actually maybe the out of bounds is 40. But nonetheless, it doesn't eat up anywhere near the amount of time as their squib did, and they actually got it further than you did. So I would start there. And you know what? On that final drive, Jeff, when a team has no timeouts, I think it's a really interesting case study of how you handle that situation. So Seattle is left with 0 timeouts, and they've got to get to, let's call Jason Myers 60 yards. You've got to get, probably a solid 20 to 25 yards to get into field goal range. If you were to allow an 8-yard completion, tackle them in bounds, and allow one more 8-yard completion and tackle them in bounds, that is probably enough to win the football game with no timeouts. Think about how long it takes to get off the pile, come up, line up everybody, spike it. I mean, you're really playing with fire. I think at that point, you probably leave yourself either a Hail Mary attempt from Darnold or Myers kicking some, 65-yarder for the win. So there was part of me, when that drive started, I thought, wait a second, are we going to see the Colts drop 8 here? Keep everything in front of them, because if you force them to check it down,
you're in good shape.
And you tackle them in bounds, that is, again, with 0 timeouts, it's interesting. So that, I think, is one philosophy. To me, you have to go either or there. Or the other is you just blitz the absolute living hell out of Darnold, and you say, you know what, if you
live with the consequence.
If you complete a second or third level ball right here, so be it. And if you look at the first down, I thought the Colts did a very kind of like half-assed effort at like each of those two things.
Yeah,
Kwity Paye chips Jackson Smith and Jigba, so then he's kind of like out of the play, and Rashid Shaheed is, able to, easily get whatever it was, 18-yard gain, and then they spike it, and then boom. On the next down, they did bring the house. They brought Cross. They brought Cam Bynum. They blitzed both their safeties on that play. Of course, they blitz him from the same side, so Darnold scans to his left. He's got Shaheed open for 8 yards. Boom. He tiptoes out of bounds, if I remember correctly, and right there, they're in field goal range. I mean, they didn't even need, they needed 20 seconds to get into field goal range. So to me, it started with the kickoff.
It actually left the Colts some time.
Right. It started with the kickoff as the first element to that.
Tanner N. writes in, great for Phil being able to play, but this is insane. Under Ballard, it's always, we almost won. We tried. Moral victories have become the standard under Ballard. Not a chance the Colts win a game the rest of the year. Injuries happen to every team, but regardless, capital, they stink. Worst collapse in league history when it's all said and done. Everyone should be fired as soon as the Texans whoop them in Week 18 and trade any asset who has any sort of value. Gold Colts. We're talking about who's going to start at quarterback Monday night against San Francisco. People, and I see the text lines, there are a lot of people wondering, okay, where do we go from here as a franchise?
I mean, it's very fair questions, very fair comments. I'm just not holding my breath that there actually will be change.
Here's the thing, if there is
change. And again,
change,
let me be clear, that is not my opinion.
Yeah.
I am simply, I don't get the feeling that Shane Steichen is sweating anything right now from a will I be back. I don't. That Sauce Gardner trade, Jeff, told us a lot. Now, if you live in this world, like if I said to you, let's rewind to August 15th. If I said to you, Chris Ballard's going to get a 10th year, Shane Steichen's going to get a 4th year, I assume you would have said this season ends in a division title or ends in a playoff appearance.
We'd had that discussion, and I think you got to win a playoff game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Winning a
One
playoff
way or the
game.
other.
Yeah.
Win a playoff game.
Whatever those boxes are, division title, winning a playoff game, just getting into the dance, whichever one of those boxes. If the playoffs started today, you would not be in it. So if I would have sat there on August 15th, Jeff, and told you this team will miss the playoffs and have the biggest collapse the NFL has seen in over a decade, would you have thought to your second?
I didn't see that coming.
Would you have thought for any second that means a 10th year for Ballard and a 4th year for Steichen?
No, and I can't imagine right now, unless it's just, hey, tough luck, injuries. Yeah, we went and got Sauce Gardner, and he got hurt immediately. Then our quarterback, who'd been leading us to all these victories, goes down. I'm going to point out, too, it had started to go south before the quarterback went down, Kevin. That's what people are forgetting here.
Right.
It had started to go south before the quarterback went down.
You were out of the playoffs when Daniel Jones tore his Achilles.
So many people.
Do you play the hindsight 2020 game? This from MP of when Anthony Richardson went down. They should have explored a legit backup more.
Probably. Because now it's Daniel Jones or bust, because he clearly has. Here's the damning thing. You want to talk about action speaking louder than words? They clearly don't trust Riley Leonard. They don't trust Riley Leonard to the point where they think the better option is to go get a statue of a 5-year retired quarterback to come in and play on the road in a game that you have to win. That's how much they think about Riley Leonard right now.
That might be a slap in the face at statues to call Phillip Rivers that.
I don't want to be mean to
Some
Phil
of those
today.
Carmel statues I feel like could move.
I thought, look, from
Carmel
just an
statues
individual
scare me.
standpoint, I thought he gave everything he could give yesterday.
If I gave you guys $100 each and you had to place a wager on who the Colts starting quarterback in 2026 is going to be, who would you even throw money at this point?
In week one?
Yes.
We got reports yesterday that Daniel Jones will be ready for camp.
Yeah, I think it. I think
How
it
about
might,
that?
I think it might be a hobble Daniel Jones, Mark.
Yeah.
Boy, oh boy. I
And
find
again,
that overly optimistic, by the way, that he's going to be ready by training camp.
Well, again, ready and whatever playing at an acceptable level, I think, are different debates. That,
Isn't it more likely that Anthony Richardson starts the first couple of games and then Daniel Jones takes over when he's truly physically capable?
I mean, what does this organization think about Richardson? What is Richardson?
Well, but what are your options? You can't. It's not like you can't go really trade for anybody.
How about
else.
45-year-old Phillip Rivers?
That's not out of the question, honestly.
Jeff laughs. I'm not laughing.
No.
Did you watch that man yesterday? Did you see his emotions post game, Mark? Do we have that audio?
Yeah.
This is Phil. I think actually James threw him this question. This is Phillip Rivers from an inspiration standpoint, going down that path and returning to the game.
We saw a reaction from your high school team after you threw your first touchdown pass. What is it about this opportunity that you maybe want to teach them, your kids, or whatever, about going forward, and why do you want to go forward when you know there could be failure on the other side of it?
Yeah. Well, this isn't the motivation, but I do think that maybe there'll be, I think about my own boys, my own two sons, but certainly it was the high school team I'm coaching, but this isn't why I'm doing it again. This is really, I know it comes with it, and I know it is a story, and I know it is rare, and all those things, but I didn't do that. I wasn't searching. I was enjoying myself down there being coach in South Alabama, but these kind of things don't come up. But obviously this doesn't come up every day, but I think maybe it will, I don't know, inspire or teach, not to run or be scared of what may or may not happen, Hopefully, certainly I think of my sons and those ball players, that I'm in charge of at the school, that they'll say, like, crap, coach wasn't scared. You know what I mean? It's like, shoot, sometimes there is doubt, and it's real. And the guaranteed safe bet is to go home or to not go for it. And the other one is, shoot, let's see what happens. And so, I hope that in that sense that it can be a positive to some young boys, or young people. It doesn't have to be boys, but again, that's not the motivation. But whatever God's will, I'm happy with. But certainly going to quickly turn my attention to the 49ers. And I know it'll be a Monday night game. Hopefully Lucas Oil is rocking. I never got to experience that either in that COVID year. And we're going to scratch and fight and claw. I do know that, and not because I'm here, but I do know that any team I have ever been a part of, not because of me, but I've been a part of, will fight like crazy until they tell us the season's over. And so.
All right, so there's Phillip Rivers, and two things can be true at once. We talk about that all the time. I can be inspired by Phillip Rivers and what he did yesterday and think to myself, he handled that about as well as any 44-year-old that hasn't played in the National Football League for 5 years comes in and plays. That's true. I can't tell you how inspired I was to see what he did yesterday. That's true. But also true, when I step back and look at it from 30,000 feet, Kevin, you can't win consistently in the National Football League with the physical profile that he's presenting right now. Cannot be done. You might be able to pull one off here or there, but you're not going to do it consistently.
I'll continue to say what I've said all morning long. Are we evaluating the Disney Plus movie that is Phillip Rivers, or are we talking about the acronym that you just mentioned, the National Football League? Because you're grading on two different scales. If you want to talk about, hey, honey, let's sit down and watch this movie. This is really cool. It's about a 44-year-old grandpa who comes off the couch after 5 years of not playing in the NFL, and he's got these great quotes, and he doesn't cuss, and he's got kind of a herky-jerky motion, and he celebrates kind of awkwardly, and he's just fun to watch. That's all really true. That sounds like something that I would want to watch on a snowy Friday night, right?
Mm-hmm.
But when you've won one game since Halloween, you haven't won a division title in a decade, you're staring at the biggest collapse the NFL has seen in over a decade, it's hard for me to enjoy the Disney Plus movie. It's just hard. And again, nothing against Phillip Rivers looked about as exactly as how I thought he would look yesterday. Ball coming out rapidly fast, dink and dunking it, taking a little while for the ball to get there, getting you in the right play. I thought Amir Abdullah provided like some Nyheim Hines 2020 vibes. Honestly,
he was pretty good yesterday.
Well, and if you go back to that 2020 season, the guy that led the Colts in receiving that year was Hines.
Yeah.
It was a running back, and that's kind of what Abdullah gave you after really he hasn't been, outside of a couple kick returns, he hasn't been much of a thought all season long offensively. Alec Pierce, as we all thought, was severely limited. He gets one target in the game, and he has been your most unique, certainly pass-catching weapon of the entire season. So all of it, Rivers was 2 of 8, I think, on pass attempts north of 10 yards. All of it is exactly what you thought would be there. It just ends in a 4th straight loss. And that's hard for me to kind of separate those two. And again, the overall blame on Rivers itself, I don't think needs to be immense. I would have started Riley Leonard. And I don't know if the result would have been overwhelmingly different, to be clear, but I think the run game would have had a little bit more pop, and I think there at least is an ability to create maybe another play or two down the field.
Grant Indy says that you are what your record says you are. Time for Ballard to go. And unless they win really, Kevin, don't you think it's going to take 3 wins in a row now after the events of yesterday and everybody else who won yesterday? Doesn't it take 3 wins in a row now for the Colts to possibly make it into the postseason?
If they win the last 2 in Houston, I want to say, Mark, will you look up Houston's schedule for us? Houston's got, is it Raiders, Chargers, and then Colts? I want to say that's it. If Houston is able to drop one of those 2, obviously Chargers would probably be the one. Gosh, every time I say Chargers out loud, I think I'm Schwarzenegger.
Go Chargers, go.
The Texans still have the Raiders this week, then the Chargers, then Colts.
Well, the Raiders look dead, but yeah. So like if they were to lose, I don't know if you've got playoff simulation, but if the Colts are able to beat Jacksonville, beat Houston, I think by beating Jacksonville, that would give you a divisional record tiebreaker, which is important. Or is needed, because if you split with Houston but lose to Jacksonville, you would lose that tiebreaker on divisional record. Not to nerd out over playoff standings, but I'm pretty sure that is right. So
yeah, Jaguars are at Denver this week, and then at Colts, and then home against the Titans to round out the season.
And the Jags are 2 games up, right?
Yep.
So whereas Houston's only 1 game up.
Yep.
Again, yesterday's 1:00 window went horrific for the Colts. Not just Houston and Jacksonville. The Chargers beating the Chiefs was not what the Colts wanted. Even little stuff like Baltimore winning. I don't know. Maybe there's some 3 or 4-way tiebreaker the Colts could potentially get in that would help them. But if they are to win their last 3, just to put it out there in the universe, they will make the playoffs. Winning the last 2, you would need a decent amount of help. And I think anything besides that, you're looking at.
You should be rooting for the Dolphins tonight, correct?
What do we got? Dolphins, Steelers.
Yeah.
So that's what, 7-6 versus 6-7?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because, yeah. I don't know.
Steelers are currently, they're leader in the AFC North.
Well, my only counter to that is maybe you want Pittsburgh to win the AFC North because you don't have the head-to-head over them.
Yeah, and the Ravens are right behind you.
Whereas the Ravens, you could have the tiebreaker on them based off conference record.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They got to win 24-0 against the Bengals yesterday. And a lot of people wonder if Zach Taylor.
Another game that really didn't help the Colts.
Wonder if Taylor's reign is getting short there in Cincinnati as well.
I would say yes.
All right, let's check it down, Mark.
The Morning Checkdown on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Here are the facts, Kevin. Seahawks 18, Colts 16. Jason Meyer hits a 56-yard field goal to win this one for the Seahawks. Colts had a chance to get back into field goal range at the very end, but one last pass intercepted by Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers yesterday on the day, 18 of 27, 120 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Gave him a chance to win. Is that the best you can say about that yesterday?
There's no way you actually thought the Colts were getting in field goal range there at the end, were you?
You never know. You never know.
I was more like, can we see one completion and then see if one of those other quarterbacks can throw the Hail Mary? Can you imagine watching Phillip Rivers throw the Hail Mary?
Isn't that kind of what that last
You need a trampoline at the 28-yard line to try and get that ball to the end zone. So, yeah, so much of it good. I mean, the blueprint executed almost flawlessly in terms of trying to, win time of possession. Certainly won field position. You got defensive playmaking in the first half. I thought it might have been Latu's best half as a Colt there in the first half, but defensively it just kind of faded in the second half there. I think Seattle ended the game. 5 of their final 6 drives were scoring drives.
Colts fall to 8-6 on the season. Bad news there because the Jacksonville Jaguars, who were leading the AFC South, put a whooping on the Jets. 48-20 was the final score there. Texans, meanwhile, got a win at home against the Cardinals, 40-20. If you look at the AFC South standings, Jacksonville 10-4, Houston 9-5, the Colts 8-6, and yes, Colts now 8th place in the AFC on the outside looking in at this point in time. But they are solidly in the 8th spot. You got that going for you, Kevin.
There you go. Hang the banner.
Too bad there's only 7 allowed in the playoffs.
Good thing the playoffs expanded, right?
Yeah. Maybe one of the bigger stories of the day yesterday in Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes left the game, and it was learned later that he has a torn ACL. He will miss the rest of the season. Don't even know if he'll be ready for the beginning of next year at this point in time, but it also eliminates the Chiefs from playoff contention. They are just 6-8 after losing to the Chargers, 16-13. So for this year, at least, that reign is dead. And then you guys start to wonder, is that the end for Travis Kelce? Would he want to come back if Mahomes isn't even ready to play at the beginning of the year next year, coming off of everything else that Kansas City has got going on? So we'll have to wait and see what happened there. Last night, Sunday Night Football, Vikings over the Cowboys, 34-26. Kevin, I don't know if you saw any of this, but J.J. McCarthy looked like an NFL legit quarterback last night.
Yeah, I did actually watch a decent amount of that, and yeah, it was a pretty impressive road victory for the Vikings. I have no idea what it means for the NFC playoff picture. Somebody's got to be the 7th team out there, but yeah, anytime I see the Cowboys lose, makes me happy.
They've been doing that a lot this year. There's no question about that. And so in that, you want to look at that NFC North. Oh, boy, there you go. I don't know if you saw this or if you were even paying attention, Mark Dykton. The Bears are 10-4 and in first place. Green Bay is 9-4-1. You're welcome for that yesterday.
That was glorious.
And Detroit is now at just 8-6. They're 2 games behind the Bears with just 3 to play. So you got to be feeling pretty good about things back there.
Yeah, that was a solid win by the Broncos. I was really heartily rooting for Bo Nix and everything. They got the job done, but I am a Packers hater, but I also hate to see injuries, and the injury to Micah Parsons did not look very good yesterday. They got a bunch of injuries. Christian Watson also got hurt as well. So they are playing the Bears this Saturday, but it stinks that they're probably not going to be full strength, unfortunately.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about Micah Parsons. I do know that I was watching that play when it happened, and it was the dreaded non-contact injury. Kevin.
Yeah, just absolutely awful there. And, yeah, Denver now, they continue to try and fight for that 1 seed after New England losing. So Denver's your 1 seed, right, as we wake up today?
Yeah, and NBA last night over at the Fieldhouse, the Pacers, they led after 1 quarter against the second-worst team in the NBA, the Washington Wizards, 32-31. But it went south in quarters number 2 and quarter number 3. Wizards win 108-89. Might have been the worst performance beginning to end for the Pacers all year, Kevin.
Yeah, awful. Andrew Nembhard, I know he was questionable coming into the game, missed his first 11 shots from the field, so that obviously terrible. And, you even go back to Friday night, you had a 5-point lead there in the fourth quarter against Philly. Thought to myself, oh, boy, this could be one of the more marquee wins. You caught a break without Tyrese Maxey. Joel Embiid looked like Joel Embiid, though. You couldn't finish that one off, and then yesterday, just awful. So, quiet start to this week with the NBA Cup break still happening. They'll have New York coming up on Thursday.
I was watching a little bit of that game, and I was like, there's no better spot for this game to be than a middle of a NFL perfect. Sunday because, boy, oh, boy, that game stunk to high heaven.
Perfect.
Yep. Also, over the weekend, Fernando Mendoza wins the Heisman Trophy as the quarterback at Indiana. And I don't know if you had a chance to see the 60 Minutes piece on Indiana's resurgence and rise to the top of college football. Did you catch that last night?
I did not. Should I watch it, or is the 60 Minutes crowd more for, like, my mom?
Yes.
Like, am I going to learn something, or is this just like, hey, you don't watch 60 Minutes to watch sports. Here's a cool sports story.
You will not learn a whole lot because you pay attention to the story and you've seen it grow and you've lived it. But for most people on the outside looking in, it was a nice little head nod to the Indiana program. You got to hear from Don Fisher. Got a good bit of run in that one last night. John Mellencamp was on there quite a bit. So there you go.
Friday
Indiana.
night, they'll learn their opponent, correct?
That's what we're going to wait. We've got the playoffs starting Friday night, Oklahoma or Alabama. Who do you like in that one?
By the way, I gotta my go to the weekend. We'll touch on this, but it's rather pathetic sometimes how I react to things.
Is that related to the Alabama-Oklahoma question? Or?
Potentially.
Okay. Good. I'll let you off the hook on that one. Also, college basketball of the weekend. Indiana loses to Kentucky. Purdue, nice win against Marquette at home. And Butler in double overtime in a thriller.
Crazy game.
Providence 113-110. Michael Ajayi had 28. And Evan Haywood, local kid, scored 5 of his 18 in the second overtime for the victory there. That was
crazy game. What a play by Michael Ajayi there in the second overtime to create another extra possession. Haywood banged home a 3. That was I know Hinkle was filled with some fans, but that was a nice little afternoon watch, cozy indoors, much needed for Butler. They will be at UConn tomorrow night.
All right. Anything else you want to throw in before we move along here?
Again, Heisman Trophy, it was a overwhelming win for Fernando Mendoza.
Wasn't even close in that.
Yeah, like 640 to like 180 or something like that from a voting standpoint. So I know there was some discussion. Would Diego Pavia create a little bit of the SEC voting? And he did not. And Diego Pavia turned to social media to express his thoughts afterwards.
All right, coming up in a moment. Is it GOAT time, Mark, already? GOATs of the week?
You know it. We're speeding through this Monday morning.
Man, already we've gotten there. Halfway home already on a chilly Monday morning. Sun is up, though. No matter what, sun came up this morning. Keep that in mind. More in a moment. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
Hook her up this holiday season, shopping for her dream engagement ring or a beautiful piece of jewelry. See my friends at Moyer Fine Jewelers in Carmel, the city's best selection of fine jewelry. Tell them JMV sent you.
Don't stress about plumbing repairs. Call LD Smith for honest advice and a free second opinion on any estimate.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest. I'm Mark Boyle, voice of the Indiana Pacers. For your best shot at better water, go local with C&J Water. They're Hoosiers serving Hoosiers, bringing cleaner, safer, better-tasting water to homes across central Indiana. When you purchase a new water softener in November or December, C&J Water donates to the Pacers Foundation, helping those in need here at home. Better water for your family, helping those in need at home and abroad. For your best shot at better water, trust the local pros at C&J Water.
107.5 The Fan and Franciscan Health present Good for the Heart Fridays. Listen to Jake Query every Friday to hear a heartwarming story from our local community. Jake knows firsthand the importance of heart health. Jake and The Fan have teamed up with Franciscan Health to make a difference, one beat at a time. Good for the Heart Fridays, brought to you by Franciscan Health Heart Center. Learn proactive measures to keep your heart healthy and schedule your heart scan at franciscanhealth.org/screening bundles.
When the new year hits, every business could use a little something to stay ahead. A lift, a jump start, an edge, or perhaps a boost. Like the all-new 5-year business boost from Comcast Business. It's the certainty of a price lock for 5 years on qualifying internet bundles. Plus, you'll have the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment, so your whole team can stay connected at a great rate. And to sweeten the deal, ask about a $500 prepaid card when you add 2 lines of mobile. It's the boost your business deserves. So sign up for the 5-year business boost and get a 5-year price lock on ultra-reliable Wi-Fi. Plus, ask about a $500 prepaid card. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 2/22/26, new customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees. Best Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
It's a new season with a new QB.
Football is back.
And so are Bud Light Blue Fridays. Every week, join JMV starting at 3 for ice cold Bud Light specials, football talk, and chances for you to snag tickets to Colts games and get some amazing swag on us. And get in on the football toss for a chance to win a trip to Las Vegas for your shot at Super Bowl tickets. Join JMV this Friday at 3 at Whiskey Business North on Pendleton Pike. Bud Light Blue Fridays.
Hey, JMV here. As winter weather heads our way, AAA wants to make sure you don't get stuck in the snow and the ice. So take advantage of AAA's holiday promotion and join now so you can rest easy knowing the entire family is taken care of. Roadside service requests are simple. Download the AAA mobile app, request service, and track your service responder in real time. The AAA crews are watching the weather closely and are ready for whatever comes our way so you can have peace of mind that if something happens, you will be taken care of. That's the AAA that we all know. So check them out today and become a AAA member. That's AAA.com. As I've mentioned before, this holiday season, what a great gift-giving idea. The membership with AAA. That's AAA.com. And download the mobile app. Do that right now. It is so easy. That's AAA.com. Download the mobile app. Tell them JMV sent you.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, ETHOS, ethos.com/play.
Feeling stuck on your own 10-yard line in the career game? Maybe it's time to just go for IT. My Computer Career has the game plan to score a rewarding new IT career in months. Whether you're a rookie, a breakout career changer, or a military veteran ready to serve. Why spend years chasing a college degree when you can fast-track your future in IT starting now? Take your mark, get set, go for IT. Take the free career evaluation at mycomputercareer.edu today. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
Harry Douglas here, and the holidays are rolling in, and if men in your life are struggling with their holiday wish list, tell them to add Manscaped to make gift giving easy and completely stress-free this year. From the beard hedger to the lawnmower trimmer, Manscaped's precision tools keep you looking sharp, feeling confident, and ready for every event and celebration. Right now at Target, get 20% off on the Handyman Shaver, Beard Hedger, and the Chairman Plus Essentials Kit, a must-have for a smooth face shave. Hurry up, though. Offer ends December 27th.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan. Your home for indie sports. Now with even more ways to listen.
Listen on air.
Online at 1075thefan.com.
And on our free app.
Stay connected to all things indie sports, including the latest news, show blogs, and catch up on what you've missed with our podcast.
We're never more than just a click away.
Download our app at Google Play and on the App Store. From your home for indie sports.
93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
We went out there, we had a chance to win it. I mean, put it that way. We had a chance to win it there at the end. Got a field goal to take the lead with 30 seconds left or whatever it was, 40 seconds. I thought he managed the offense. The plan going into the game was run the ball, control the clock. Thought we did a pretty good job of that. In the first half, it was setting up pretty good in the first half that way. And then obviously didn't manage enough points there in the second half. Got the 3 there at the end, but, it was a hard-fought game back and forth.
It was a hard-fought game back and forth, but the Seahawks get the win on a 56-yard field goal by Jason Myers not long after a 60-yard field goal by Blake Grupe, who was 3 for 3 yesterday. So he has not been a problem since he was brought on in an emergency situation. Seems like everybody's being brought on in an emergency situation now, Kevin.
Shout out Blake Grupe. I know the Colts have been struck by the swagger of the 5'7" kicker. I say that in all seriousness. And boy, that 60-yarder, that thing would have been good from 62 or 63.
He drilled it. It was a nice kick, and had the defense been able to just, as you pointed out, just keep everything in front of them and make that clock tick, they might have won that football game yesterday. But they lose. They're now 8-6. They've lost. Man, can you believe now that they've lost 5 of their last 6 after starting 7-1, Kevin? 7-1, and you're likely to miss the playoffs at this point in time.
I called Blake Grupe what I called my daughter Nora, tiny but mighty. That leg was booming yesterday.
I like that.
You should relay that to Blake Grupe. And
let's get the T-shirts printed up while we can.
He'll take it as a compliment. I know when he trotted out there for the 60-yarder, Maddie was like, wait, that's him? I'm like, yeah, that is him. Mm-hmm. It's like one of those mushrooms in the Mario game that somehow does the opposite effect.
I'd like to see him and Diego Pavia stand next to each other.
Oh. All right, we'll talk more about the Colts coming up in a minute. Also, tough day for the Pacers yesterday. But in the meantime, we've got our good, bad, ugly of the week. You name it, it is here, Mark.
Who is the GOAT?
I told you all that I was the greatest of all time.
Jordan, here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good!
That's what I'm talking about! That's why he's the MVP! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
Or GOAT?
This guy sucks.
Of the week.
Mark, that'll never not make me laugh.
I love that open.
Kevin, I've been intrigued by your little tease about 8 minutes ago ever since you did it. So I'm going to let you start off with GOAT of the week. Or you want to go good or bad to start things off?
Well, we usually follow whatever happens to the Colts result. So this would be the bad GOAT of the weekend, and it is the man talking. It is Kevin Bowen. Shout out to, we went to a puppet show with the kids and the family on Saturday morning up there in Carmel. Lovely little puppet show. The kids had a great time at it. And I'm sitting next to my brother, and young boy walks in, kind of sits in the general vicinity of where our kids are. Takes off his jacket, and the shirt he has on, the U. Oh. And the amount of blood pressure that rose in my body when this 3-year-old boy took off his jacket and had a Miami University shirt on.
Were you ready to throw down with a 3-year-old?
I wanted Max Bowen to just stomp on him. And then his father takes off his jacket. He's also rocking a Miami Hurricane shirt. It is so utterly pathetic that makes me feel the way that it does. Can you just tell me to get the hell over it? Move on. Notre Dame whined and whined all last week. Kevin, it's done. It's over. You didn't make the playoffs. You can gripe, you can bitch, you can moan, but it's got to be over after 24 hours. Why does that make me so mad?
It's the Alabama one that should make you mad.
Oh, well, that is certainly true.
Miami beat you head-to-head. I can at least get on board with that argument, but it's the Alabama getting in is the thing that I have the problem with.
It's just disgusting that a 36-year-old human reacts in the manner that he did.
Now, were you wearing Notre Dame gear as well, so they saw it and probably did like a little hat tip to you, or what?
I felt that. I felt like the kid was going to turn around and middle finger me, Mark.
And then you did the old chair pull for him. And
I want to know if...
I hope that puppet comes out and bites your nose.
Did Maddie realize what was happening?
Thankfully,
and just
she
kind
did
of
not. No.
Slide in between you guys
No.
just to make sure there was no problem.
I had Ryan Bowen there to calm me down and listen to me cussing.
But he knew, right?
Cussing under my breath.
He knew.
Oh, yeah, he knew.
He knew. Well, we've got to surround ourselves with people better than ourselves all the time.
Bad GOAT of the week. Yours truly. Mark Dykton, what do you got?
Mine was the injury bug we talked a little bit about earlier, but Sunday was rough for a lot of guys. Patrick Mahomes already diagnosed with a torn ACL. Micah Parsons, we expect that to be the case for him. And also Devontae Adams for the Rams went down. Sean McVay said it didn't look good. Right now they're diagnosing it as a hamstring injury. But those are 3 guys that are catalysts for their team, all hoping to make a playoff push, and rough. And Patrick Mahomes, man, that was a disastrous season for the Chiefs. I don't really know when he's going to be back, but yeah, a horrible season for the Chiefs gets even 10 times worse because not only they missed the playoffs, now you lost your star quarterback.
I saw that happen live as I was watching the many TVs yesterday. I'm just curious, Mark, did you see that happen live?
Yes.
Was that a little bit late from the Chargers there?
I didn't think it was late, but I mean, it's so quick that it happened. It was hard to tell. Micah Parsons, you knew right away, was probably like an ACL because that was non-contact and everything. At least Mahomes, you were hoping it was going to be okay, and then when you saw him getting help to the locker room, like, oh boy, that does not look good.
No, not good at all. All right, I am going to go with the, and I wouldn't normally say it this way. I would usually say one of the contenders for the Heisman Trophy, but I'm going to say now the loser of the Heisman Trophy in 2025. Diego Pavia did about everything you could possibly do in the 3 hours after not hearing his name and after listening to Fernando Mendoza get the Heisman Trophy to be about as classless and disrespectful as he could, Mark. He basically was F them voters, not once, but twice. He has since apologized for that and says, I have nothing but respect for the people who vote for the Heisman and the Heisman process. But did you catch any of Diego Pavia both arriving to the ceremony and then his reaction after the ceremony, Mark?
Yeah, and then I saw the little, apology tweet or message that he posted and everything like that and whatnot. I don't buy it. I don't care for it at all. Let Fernando Mendoza have his flowers, get his recognition, act like you've been there before, don't have such sour grapes. So not a fan of Diego Pavia, not going to lie.
No, and as you said earlier, Kevin, for a guy who could be a potentially on the draft boards of a lot of teams in the NFL, was he just giving you Johnny Manziel vibes and like, yeah, I think I'll pass on that one?
I don't think he's very high on those draft boards, to be clear.
Probably not. But.
Yeah, pretty immature from the Vanderbilt quarterback. My great go to the weekend, I think James Boyd would endorse this. Did you guys see the Steph Curry shot he made in pregame warmups?
Yeah, that was insane.
The one-handed heave from the tunnel to the opposite hoop. Can you imagine playing cornhole or beer pong against Steph Curry.
He's a cheat code. His brain.
You wouldn't finish half a beer.
No.
We done already? Oh.
I'd like to
get
see,
a turn.
I say this in all seriousness. I would like to see Steph Curry start for the Colts at quarterback on Monday.
Couldn't do. Look, he can throw the ball downfield.
You imagine the touch he would have? It'd be unbelievable watching him just pepper. Actually, Phillip Rivers and Steph Curry in a cornhole game. Would that be the greatest duo ever created?
It would
Does
be
Phillip
fun.
Rivers still throw the ball, throw it the way he throws it, the football?
Yeah, I thought you were going to say, can Phillip Rivers get it to the cornhole board? Which,
wow,
Mark, come on now.
I wouldn't go that route. Classier than that.
What do you got?
Mine goes to the one and a true GOAT, John Cena. Definition, called it quits after a 23-year career on Saturday night. A 17-time WWE champion, a Grand Slam champion. He won the Royal Rumble twice, headlined WrestleMania 6 separate times. And most importantly, he holds the record for most wishes granted for the Make-A-Wish program. A job well done by John Cena. You will truly be missed. A big hat tip, you can't see me to you, but a hell of a career. One of the true legends of the sport.
I love that. I'm going to go with, I told you I was watching 60 Minutes last night, KB. Don Fisher was featured significantly in that. And we talked last week about Fish being able to do that double on the day where Louisville and Indiana were playing basketball at the Fieldhouse, then going over to call the Big Ten Championship, which Indiana won and beat Ohio State. And now he's showing up on 60 Minutes. Just the nicest guy. At least he's always been good to us here at the Fan. I've never heard anybody say anything other than great things about Don Fisher. He's one of my favorite people to listen to throughout the week when he's talking about Indiana. He's got that little chuckle that is so Don Fisher that I love all the time. And I guess kind of on behalf of everything that's happening for Indiana and Indiana football, I'm going to name Don Fisher as my GOAT of the week. I just, for as long as he's been in broadcasting, to have it go the way it's gone for him this year and to be a part of something that he loves so much and to see the success there, kind of on behalf of everybody involved down there, I'm going to go Don Fisher.
I love me some Fish. Always been great to me behind the scenes. I've enjoyed getting to know him and I've appreciated him listening to me and answering questions that I've had. So, yes, he is an absolute legend.
All right, coming up in a moment, more on the fallout from the loss in Seattle yesterday and the re-debut, I guess, of Phillip Rivers, and a little bit more on the Pacers and their tough day over at the Fieldhouse. It's all straight ahead, 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
Four Winds South Bend's Ribbontown Event Center will be transformed into a night of glitz and glamour for a New Year's Eve party to remember. Enjoy live entertainment featuring DJ Jellyfish and Naughty, party favors, appetizers, and a cash bar. Get tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. Dress to impress and ring in 2026 with a party at Four Winds South Bend. Your entertainment escape.
Family-owned Cynthia's Hallmark has gifts for everybody on your list this holiday season. One of the big sellers, the new DC UK Company ducks. These charming hand-carved bamboo root ducks with cute outfits and sweet names have been flying off the shelves. And while you're finding the perfect gift, check out the newest treasures from the Jim Shore collection. The snowman with the cardinal, absolutely heart-melting. And the Jim Shore Grinch sewing his Santa suit, with Max supervising, of course, is an instant favorite. Speaking of the Grinch, Cynthia's in Greenfield and on Allisonville Road carry the entire Grinch Light Up Village by Department 56. And yes, they also have the full Christmas Vacation Light Up Village for all you Clark Griswold fans. The beauty of Willow Tree figurines and ornaments are so personal and make such a memorable gift. Planning holiday parties? Don't forget my favorite, the easy-to-make award-winning Wind and Willow dips and cheese ball mixes. Your guests are going to love them. Shop family-owned Cynthia's Hallmark this holiday season. 116th and Allisonville Road, 96th and Lantern Road, 116th and Brook School Road, and in Greenfield.
Bowling, 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 keep them balls a-rolling. Bowling, bowling, bowling. Royal Pin.
The holidays are rolling in at Royal Pin Entertainment. Celebrate the season your way with cheer-filled holiday parties. From thrilling bowling lanes to action-packed laser tag, there's fun for everyone. And when it's time to refuel, enjoy delicious catering options that'll satisfy any crowd. Need to unwind? The full-service bars are ready to serve. At Royal Pin Entertainment, they cater to events of all sizes with some of the largest event spaces in Indianapolis. Perfect for corporate Christmas parties, family gatherings, or any festive get-together. Give your group the unforgettable holiday experience they're hoping for.
knock them down, send them flying, spinning round.
Book your holiday event now at RoyalPin.com. That's RoyalPin.com.
Royal Pin, bowling, bowling. Royal Pin.
Hi, I'm Lexi, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. If you're planning to propose this holiday, we're ready to make creating your engagement ring a warm, welcoming experience. At Shane Company, we're all about your style, your budget, your dream engagement ring. Explore the widest selection of diamonds and ring settings ready for you to see in person, or visit us at shaneco.com. You'll have your ring in days, not weeks. Our friendly jewelry consultants don't work on commission. There's never any pressure, just perfect proposals. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Xfinity is the network you can rely on. Like a close friend who will give it to you straight. The friend who will tell you that new haircut, it's not great. Friends make sure friends get good haircuts. And Xfinity makes sure you get a good deal on Wi-Fi. Xfinity gives you reliable fiber-powered Wi-Fi at our best price. This holiday season through January 4th, get gig speed Wi-Fi for just $50 a month for 5 whole years. No strings, no commitments. Just super fast, reliable gig speed Wi-Fi with our best equipment and unlimited data included. Save yourself from questionable decisions and save over Verizon and AT&T. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto-pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Xfinity Internet powered by fiber and connected to premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Lucky Larry's Landscaping, Larry! Larry saved his business money with a quick commercial auto quote from Progressive. Does it help he's his own marketing manager, accountant, executive assistant, and never been late? Technically, yes, but saving really put him over the edge. So, Larry, give Larry a round of applause. Be your own Larry. See if you could save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Some people just know you can save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check Kirk Herbstreit's pregame analysis first, before talking to your brother-in-law.
In this game, the key thing to watch will be the offensive line versus their front seven. If they can get pressure without blitzing, this could be a long night.
Okay, Kirk.
I know stuff.
Ooh, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first and see what you could save. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Potential savings vary, including based on how you buy, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Hey guys, if you've heard of TRT but you have no idea what testosterone can do for you, once you start treatment, you'll wish you had done it sooner. Now you can take the TRT test for free at Synergenics and Low T Center. Walk in before 10 a.m. or book ahead at fixmylowt.com today.
The Fan cares, and if you or someone you care about needs food assistance, we have resources for you, including food distribution locations with an interactive map. Also, learn how you can make a difference for friends and neighbors in need, all at 1075thefan.com.
Soccer Saturday featuring Indy 11. If this is your football, this is your show. Saturday at 9 on The Fan. And Morning Show with KB, JB, and Jeff.
You know, it was exciting. Shoot, it was exciting to take a 13-3 lead.
This is The Fan Morning Show with KB, JB, and Jeff.
You know, it was exciting. Shoot, it was exciting to take a 13-3 lead. But first off, you know, on a play that we kind of had up all week in the red zone in that area, on that down and distance, on that hash, we practiced at the exact same spot, you know, this week. So when things come up like that, they fire you up. Obviously, you throw in the fact that it's been 1,800 days since I've thrown a touchdown, you know, or an interception for that matter. So we got both of those box checks. But it was, yeah, that was exciting. That was an exciting drive and a heck of a drive. We had a few different plays. Amir had a big catch. You know, Tyler had a big catch on the Dover, and then obviously Downs gets in the end zone. And you know, again, it was one of those grinded out games. You know, I know we didn't have a ton of yards total offense, but we controlled the ball. I mean, we did all those things that you wanted to do. You know, again, I know that in the book it says we turned the ball over, but we didn't turn the ball over. You know, that was obviously in desperation mode. So all in all, disappointed. You know, thankful and nothing but gratitude from a standpoint of getting to be here and be a part of it again. But disappointed we didn't get it done, as I have been disappointed in any other loss I've ever been a part of where I was the quarterback.
Phillip Rivers on his performance and the Colts' performance yesterday, an 18-16 loss to the Seattle Seahawks. And so many folks, I think, are coming down. They're like, who doesn't like Phillip Rivers? I get it. Verlin from Greenfield.
Colts fans used to hate him when he...
Well, back in the day, but they liked him. They became fans when he came over to the Colts. He was always one of those guys. You couldn't stand him if he was on the other team, but you loved him if he was on your team, right? He was one of those guys. Verlin from Greenfield writes, it was fun seeing Phillip on the field one more time, but I don't think I can watch that offense for 3 more games this season.
Well, get used to it, Verlin. I fully expect him to start a week from Monday against the 49ers. And, Jeff, I think that's my biggest question as we transition throughout the rest of the week. The offense that you just had yesterday is not sustainable.
No.
To winning NFL games. I get that you were certainly in it and played from ahead and had a chance there late, but it's not sustainable. Over the course of 17 weeks, an offense that is averaging 3.7 yards per play, a yards per attempt through the air of 4.4. Just to put context into it, those are horrific numbers. I mean, easily season lows for the Colts. They would have been lows for Rivers in 2020. And you just are praying, living, and dying, and so much of the other stuff to be good in that game. Like, you needed what Seattle probably had, 3 or 4 notable drops in that game. You know, the penalties were in your favor again. You know, one of the kind of sneaky plays was that false start on 4th and 1 ended up being good for the Colts because then it allowed for them not to get stuffed there on the 4th and 1.
Penalty they got lucky,
right?
Yeah.
To Taylor, obviously Groupie kicked the hell out of it. So that would be my question now: is what can be different from this passing offense with Phillip Rivers?
Charles says, watching Rivers play was like that Seinfeld episode with the old guy thinking he could still lift heavy and telling Jerry, it's go time. You remember that one, Mark, right? It's go time.
Mandelbaum.
That did not end well, Charles said. True enough, that. You know who inserted himself in the middle of it? Tom Brady says he could still play at 48. They won't let
call him up.
They won't let him because he's now a minority owner with the Raiders, and so he can't unretire now. But he said, yeah, I could certainly get back in there and get a drive going.
I was very nervous for the Hail Mary attempt at the end.
Rightfully so.
We had a listener chime in last week and said that in watching the videos that I was taking out at practice of Rivers throwing, he referenced, it looks like Rivers needs a cutoff man.
That's a great line.
If they had gotten to Hail Mary range, what do you think they would have done? Do you think they put in Leonard, or I guess Rippon can only go in if Leonard was hurt, so it would have had to have been Leonard.
You had
Tyler Warren throw the Hail Mary.
Yeah. What is Leonard's arm strength?
I don't think it's anything to write home about, but I think
he can get the ball 60 yards downfield.
I think it's better than the starting quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Could they have sent Blue out there? Could Blue have made the trip and done it?
Put him up there on the
if
second
you
level.
Start him on the 4th deck,
of Lumen Stadium. Tell him it's an Allegiant toss down there.
Just aim for the
Blue's
trash can.
accuracy with that is so good.
Aim for the trash can. You'll be good in shape. Mark, one quick thing before we head to the top of the hour. Eric in Carmel says, Nirvana, Muse, great rock bumper choices all day long.
Lots of Seattle inspiration if you get what's going on.
I did get what
By
was
the way,
going on.
shout out to Blake Groupie. I mean, that kicking performance, outdoors, you're on your second team, 42, 54, 60. I feel like they're all down the middle. They all have got distance to spare. That dude, I'll never forget, a few weeks back in his first practice day kicking indoors, he goes 7 for 7, and the amount of swagger that man had after the kicking session, it was like, I bleep and own this indoor facility. It's like, dude, you're the third string kicker. You're the third kicker that they've had this year.
It looked like it yesterday.
Oh my gosh, he was strutting and everything around that field. Hell, both kickers. I just hand those kicker special teams player of the weeks to both of them yesterday. Although I do think that final kickoff should have been squibbed.
All right, we'll have more from the text line, and you can call us up and let us know your thoughts as well. 239-1070. It's Kevin Bowen, Jeff Rickard, James Boyd on his way back from Seattle. It's the Fan Morning Show at 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
The Ride with JMV.
It's not like IU and the program. Scott Dolson and Kurt Signetti just didn't trip into something great here. Oh, all of a sudden we kind of fell into greatness. It's not like somebody, you're getting this inheritance. Hey, Kurt Signetti, his inheritance was crap water for decades. This is the greatest coaching job we have ever seen.
The Ride with JMV.
Weekdays 3 to 6.
On 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
Tavern Tour 25, brought to you by Evan Williams, continues this Thursday at Coach's Tavern. Join JMV Thursday from 3 to 6 p.m. Great food and Evan Williams at Coach's Tavern.
Do you spend half your day walking or standing while working? If you have foot, knee, or low back pain, the Good Feet store wants to help you like we helped Tony.
Pain that I experience the most is foot pain from being on my feet all day. You're having to kind of talk to yourself through the whole shift, like, I got this, I can do this. Before, I felt defeated, and now it's like, all right, let's go. I'm ready. A whole new life, like sunshine coming on.
And here's Dennis.
Working at an amusement park, it's always on your feet. I just couldn't take it. I just couldn't believe that putting these arch supports in made that much of a difference that quickly. Good Feet just took that pain away, and I could do my job and I could take care of my family. I know what my tomorrow is going to be. It's going to be positive and it's going to be pain-free.
You deserve a better life too. Stop into the Good Feet store today. We're located in Castleton by the Fashion Mall or in Greenwood, just off the 65.
Thanks to the Good Feet store. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
It's JMV for BullseyeEventGroup.com. The Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. All you can eat, all you can drink. Before each Colts home game, make your game day experience the best it can be. Entertained inside the Bullseye Event Center and the great food from celebrity chef Kelsey Murphy. That and more, and combo up your passes with tickets to the game. That's the BullseyeEventGroup.com Colts VIP tailgate presented by Hayes & Sons Restoration. Get your passes now. BullseyeEventGroup.com. Treat yourself with a new watch from Moyer Fine Jewelers in Carmel. They have over 20 watch brands, including Omega, Breitling, Hublot, and the Midwest best selection of pre-owned watches. Tell them JMV sent you.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Price Point Comfort Heating and Cooling. Owner James Swindle says American Standard is one of the few brands that doesn't offer a knockoff version.
Any of their equipment is top of the line. You know, from a basic system to the most expensive system, they come with the same warranty. The same people are building them in the same factory. After doing this for 31 years, I still feel that it's the best product out there on the market.
Get the real deal at PricePointComfort.com. Price Point Comfort is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater. My dad passed away at the age of 63. It's out of nowhere. Had a stroke. Super hard, obviously, for the whole family, but my dad had life insurance. This is why I have life insurance for my family, for my wife and 4 kids. And the best place to get life insurance is ethos.com because you can do it in 10 minutes. And there's no medical exam and no blood test, just a few health questions. Get life insurance in 10 minutes so your family is protected. Ethos, E-T-H-O-S, ethos.com/play.
Getting more as a MyLowe's Pro Rewards member is easier than ever with the Lowe's app. Download it today and earn 500 points the first time you log in. Plus, your digital wallet helps you scan, save, earn, and access what you need to manage it all in one place. Download the Lowe's app and take advantage of your Pro benefits today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid 12/1/25 through 1/7/26. Offer valid for first login per organization only. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Additional restrictions apply. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for more details. Subject to change.
We Grow Hair Indy, they are the gold standard when it comes to hair restoration. Again, online, wegrowhairindy.com. And if you're looking for before and after pictures and videos, they are available to you there. At the very least, you owe it to yourself to get answers to the questions, the curiosity that you have. And you can do that, again, by contacting them. wegrowhairindy.com is the website, and up on the northwest side. Talked with some people that have had procedures done out of state, even out of the country, and boy, the stories are they're nightmarish. And not my experience whatsoever. I was definitely curious, like what the recovery process would look like, and that was a lot smoother than I expected. So again, when you have those sorts of questions, get answers, and you can do that by contacting them. We Grow Hair Indy. They are the gold standard when it comes to hair restoration. wegrowhairindy.com.
This is the Fan Morning Show with KB, JB, and Jeff.
Blake Grupe is on for about a 55-yarder here. This would be his longest make of the season. Ball on the right hash. Sanchez to put it down. Snap. There's the placement. And the kick clears the line, heading downfield for the uprights, and it is good! Ha-ha! 2-by-2 formation for Rivers. Looking over that defense, 4 on the play clock. Takes a step, 3-step drop, looking, throws inside the 5, touchdown! down for the Colts, and it's Josh Downs across the goal line. Jason Myers has been heavily used today. This is his 4th attempt. As a 32-yard field goal kick is up and headed for the uprights, and it's good. The Colts trail by 2, and Blake Grupe is on for a 60-yard field goal. This one from 60 as Rigoberto Sanchez is prepared. Let's see if young Mr. Grupe in his 3rd year can knock down a huge field goal. Snap, placement, kick on the way. Headed downfield for the uprights. It's good!
Wow.
It's good from 60. Blake Grupe. So this is going to be a 56-yard field goal. Myers snap. Gets into it. Sends it downfield. Headed for the uprights, and it's good.
As the game just got going, I was just thankful, grateful that I was out there. And it was a blast. It was a blast, but obviously the emotions now are disappointment, right? Disappointment. This isn't about me. We got a team that was scrapping like crazy to try to stay alive and get in the postseason. So obviously we're all disappointed. Came up just short. It's a 2-minute drive. They hit the plays. They hit plays there at the end to get them in field goal range. I mean, that was the bottom line. We were in zone. We had some blitzes up. And they needed they needed 20 yards to get into range, and they got it done. Obviously, it's disappointing anytime you lose, but we're guaranteed 3 left, and had a chance to win 1 today, but now we got another opportunity to go do it again on Monday night against San Francisco, and we're excited for that challenge.
There you go. Shane Steichen, Phillip Rivers. Looks like they may team up again for a Monday night game against the San Francisco 49ers. Colts lose 18-16. And inspirational for all the right reasons. 44-year-old guy, been retired for 5 years, gets a phone call, team in desperation. He can help him out, understands the offense, good friends with the head coach. They're on the same page. He gave him a chance. Everything went as well as it could go for the Colts, in my opinion, to give them the chance right up until the very end when it didn't. But it is certainly, in my view, Kevin Bowen, averaging 4.4 yards per pass attempt. No mobility whatsoever. Great story. Good man. Happy for him. Glad, I guess, that he got the opportunity. But you're not going to get yourself back into the playoffs with Phillip Rivers as the quarterback of the Indianapolis Colts.
Well, let's stretch it a little bit even further than that, Jeff. There is part of me that just looks at yesterday afternoon and thinks to myself, like, what an effort by the Colts. They're on their 3rd string quarterback, or however you want to label Rivers. They were down to their 3rd and 4th string offensive tackles. I can't recall the last time they've been down. We've seen, like the Chargers, for example, have been dealing with that for a long portion of the season, but I don't remember the Colts being down to that in quite a while. Defensively, you were without, your 3 best defensive players? Certainly 3 of your best, if not your best, and DeForest Buckner and Javarius Ward and Sauce Gardner. And you went out to one of the more hostile environments in the NFL, against a team that I think a lot of people view as one of the best in the NFL, and you lost by 2. Like, there is so much of that you want to sit there and be like, man, great effort, hell of a job. That's really, really respectable and commendable and all of that. And I think all of that is probably true. It's just, in my opinion, borderline impossible to celebrate it when now you've lost 5 of 6 and you've lost 4 in a row. And the Jacksonville and the Houston games went the way that it did. Kansas City's won, 1 game in the last month and a half, 2 months, and it's you and blowing that multi-score lead in Arrowhead. Like, if one, certainly if 2, but if even one of those games that just mentioned, or Pittsburgh, if one of those games goes the other way, you can maybe talk about this game right here yesterday differently. You can react to it in a little bit more of a, hey, man, there's a game like this for every team in the NFL each year. When you're decimated like no other injury report-wise, do you rise to the occasion? Do guys step up? Do you have a chance to win? But just given the playoff standings, you just can't sit here and offer a ton of to it. It's just difficult. And, here you are at 8-6 and going to need to win multiple games in the last 3 weeks. And you obviously have injury questions continuing. You have offensive questions, to your point, that we can get into. But, living in the 60-minute world, there's a lot that the Colts had a great effort yesterday. But given the nature of where the season is sinking and trending, it's hard to really acknowledge any of it.
I will say I allowed myself to put myself into the moment yesterday. And, Kevin, I'm not going to lie to you. There was an element of me when they were staying in the football game and he was doing just enough to keep him in the football game. And then when they took that lead at 16-15, there was a part of me like, this is fun. I tweeted it out. This is fun. I was actually having fun for a while yesterday. And I can, again, two things can be true. You can get lost in the moment. You can get lost in the story. You can root for Phillip Rivers. You can root for the story. You can appreciate all the things that are going on. But at the end of the day, when you put it in context, as you just did, Kevin, and then you also look at what's to come in the next few weeks, I don't know how it's sustainable. I don't know how you keep it going and think to yourself, honestly, this gives us the best chance. I don't know how you get to that conclusion unless they know something about Riley Leonard that I don't know, unless they just decided a long time ago, like, we can't win with Riley.
You know, a big debate we had last week, Jeff, was, are we just splitting hairs and debating Phillip Rivers, Riley Leonard, or Brett Rippon? Those were kind of the three names. Sam Ehlinger, right? He was the other name that we kind of talked about. Would the end result largely look the same? What did the Colts score yesterday? 16? 16 points. Not the most explosive offense by any means. And maybe like the getting to 16 points would look differently with some of those guys. Maybe with some of the others, you have a few more turnovers. That puts your defense into, difficult situations. Maybe you do create a few more big plays from it. So I do think we are probably we're just splitting hairs at the end of the day. Given the fact that Leonard was a full participant in practice, though, the threat that he does bring with his legs, and this is coming from a guy that
you're not the biggest fan.
No, I'm not definitely the biggest Riley Leonard fan by any means, but I do think he would have offered your offense a little bit more potency. Now, again, maybe as a rookie quarterback in that environment, he's turning the ball over a time or two, but I'll go back to what we discussed last segment. Those offensive numbers, Jeff, 4.4 yards per pass attempt, 3.7 yards per play, those are just not NFL sustainable at all. It's archaic. It's dinosaur. I don't know how else to better describe it, but that's exactly what it is for you. And really the only good, which, again, it does worth mention, or I think it's worth mentioning, you didn't turn the ball over. And I do think that was key in just allowing your defense to hang in there and all of that. You were able to control field position. I think the Colts had like a 15-yard advantage in average drive start, which was really big for them. So, again, Rivers, that part of the operation is there. But, I mean, the offense is just it's just boring as hell.
And it's clear that the offense is essentially designed to get a first down. That's it. Like, I just need – and they had 14 first downs.
Well, the offense is designed to go run, get it to 3rd and 4, and pray and hope that 3rd and 4.
Exactly. My point is just get to the sticks and make
completed,
it. Keep it going. Keep it going. They only had 215 yards of total offense yesterday. Think about that, Kevin. You're not going to win very many games in the National Football League when you get 215 yards of total offense.
God, that's got to be one of the lowest in a while. Is that a season low? Do you know?
I'll have to go back and look at it, but I can't imagine things being much lower than that. But like I said, two things can be true, and that's kind of been my theme today. Feel good about the story. Feel good about Phillip Rivers. This can't continue to happen.
Yeah, I think you've
can't continue to happen.
I think you've done a nice job in isolating the two. I've said all morning long, Phillip Rivers is a Disney Plus movie. It's a fun thing to watch on a Friday night in this weather. But right now, for a Sunday afternoon NFL football game, and again, there might not be any good answers. To be clear, there probably isn't any good answers. But if I had to pick and choose moving forward, fully approaching because I think Rivers also stymies your run game. The fact that he is such a statue back there, and there's no element of him, running, whatever RPOs and that sort of aspect. Jonathan Taylor had 25 carries yesterday, and he had one double-digit yard carry. I mean, he had 25 for what, like 80-something? Mm-hmm. I mean, that is obviously a really, really low number. So I think it also hurts you in that aspect of it, not just can you throw it north of 10 yards?
Yeah, and so much of that goes back to the Seahawks know that Jonathan Taylor, everybody knows he's your biggest weapon anyway, But now when you got a quarterback who's not going to scare you downfield, who's not going to run, a lot easier to keep guys up closer to Jonathan Taylor and make sure that he doesn't get loose for anything longer than an 11-yard 11-yard run. He did catch the touchdown pass. But when you look at the longest plays of the day.
Downs, right?
Yeah. Taylor had 11 on one carry. Josh Downs had an 8-yard, was his longest reception. Pierce was the longest. That was a nice catch by him, too. Did you see that catch by Alec Pierce?
Yeah, again, I just feel like you've got to pepper Pierce with targets. I don't even...
He'll make catches.
Right. Even I think he has proven to, like, I want to see more of that back shoulder stuff. I mean, obviously Rivers is not going to chuck it, even like Flacco did, down the field. But I just think Pierce is a contested catch guy. He at least is competitive in it. And I know that sounds really elementary to say, but, Jeff, there was a ball that Darnold threw to Rashid Shaheed down the sideline that Shaheed wanted a pass interference penalty, and they didn't throw it. If he would have been more competitive in attempting to catch the ball, I think that might have forced the ref's hand a little bit. I think it was Mekhi Blackman in coverage. Pierce is always doing a great job of trying to make the catch. And I think it aids him in some of those 50-50 calls of like, hey, should I pull out the flag or should I not? So to me, Pierce, and I tweeted out the snap counts earlier today, he played every single offensive snap. Technically, the pass interference penalty does not count as a target because it wasn't a play. It was a penalty. He had one target. Like, he just needs more targets.
I'm just counting down. There were 6 Colts that caught passes yesterday. Abdullah had 5. I thought he played pretty well yesterday, by the way.
Yeah, I got some Nyheim Hines 2020 vibes. Yeah. Again, Hines led the team in catches with Rivers. I got some Nyheim Hines vibes from him.
He had 5 catches. Pittman had 3. Warren had 3. Pierce had just the 1 we talked about. Jonathan Taylor had 3. One of them getting close to the end zone there. And then Josh Downs had the touchdown reception. I think I said earlier Taylor did, but it was Downs, yeah.
So I went back to 2000. That's the 4th fewest yards in a game for the Colts. So in the last 5 years, 2022 season with Matt Ryan, I think some of these starts might have been with Ellinger. You had a couple of those games. 2023, I assume that was Richardson. I don't know, maybe it was Minshew. But, yeah, 215 is just, again, a very, very small number.
239-1070, number to text in or call. And if you'd like to, Cody writes in, I'm way past over this leadership, but curious what your thoughts are in the combo, what it would be if they win after the 60-yarder. Are we still negative because of how old and slow Phil looked? Or are we saying, man, Sauce and Buckner still coming back, let's go? LOL. There is an element to when you win a game, okay, now we can build on that. But even if you win that game, what is markedly going to get better from the quarterback position in terms of getting the ball downfield and not just being a very one-dimensional football team?
Well, Jeff, I think this is where you have two sides to where the 2025 coin is right now for the Colts. And, you know, last week we got into a little bit of this topic, but basically you have a win-loss record, playoff standings side of the coin. That obviously is what people care about. Okay, at the end of the day, did you make the playoffs or did you not? So what's your record? What are the playoff chances? What wins do you need? You know, what are the tiebreakers? So a win, and this is kind of what I've been getting at all morning long, that is the bottom line right now. When you've lost 5 of 6, when you've lost 4 straight, when you have one win since Halloween, when you've already lost to Houston and Jacksonville in the division, you need wins, point blank, period. But I also can sit here and acknowledge what the Colts are trying to attempt right now is largely a gimmick. I mean, that's what the reality is of their situation. You know, I think when we had Stephen Holder on last Wednesday, I said to Stephen, should the final 4 games of this season, likely quarterbacked by Phillip Rivers, have any sort of evaluation measure, if you will, on Shane Steichen or Chris Ballard?
I guess if he comes in and he gives you enough to get into the postseason, you pat him on the back for being ingenious and coming up with a solution to your quarterback problem in the short term, right?
Right, but like it's kind of la-la land. Like this is not NFL reality. I mean, it is for the Colts in the small sample size, but like this isn't your reality next year. This is not like there's no staying power, I guess is what I'm saying to this. This is not something of like, oh no, we can build off this. No, he's a 44-year-old quarterback, hasn't played 5 years.
You patched a hole in a very ingenious way.
Right,
which,
part of the NFL season, I guess, can be like that to a degree, but it just seems like for Ballard, okay, let's talk about Ballard, we are approaching the end of his 9th year. Should the final 4 games, the end of 9 years, really be the deciding factor in a resume that has, 100 other games of evidence?
Yeah, because it's how you got to those 4 games, right?
Well, right. What I'm saying is 8 years and 13 games to me outweighs 4.
Yeah.
And for Shane Steichen, you have obviously a lot less of a sample size, but for Steichen, it's 3 years and 3/4 of a season should outweigh the final 4 weeks. And, maybe the season would have returned around, but the ship was already sinking before, Daniel Jones's Achilles pop there. So, the whole dissecting of this Phillip Rivers end of the 2025 season is just are we going to get to the year and is Carly Ursay-Gordon going to say, hey, I felt like we gave great effort as the injuries piled up and we started really well, and I'm going to choose to go off of that and I'm going to run it back.
Let's go talk to Roger next on the fan line.
No, he just dropped off.
Oh, we lost Roger. Guys, we'll get to you. Just be a little bit patient, I promise. We will get to you when you call in, 239-1070. You want to call back, and we'll get you all on right there. Ryan from Pendleton says, Jeff, KB, I think what we saw from Rivers was an intelligence level that kept the game close. He made some great adjustments at the line that Riley Leonard may not have seen. This managed the mistakes and kept the game within range. What I'm hoping for next week is a little more creativity from Steichen and Rivers with the use of weapons, for example, Downs, Pierce, Warren. There were some usage, but wasn't a lot of quick play action underneath usage with Pierce or Downs. Only on the touchdown, just wasn't used enough. And I don't know, it's because, to me, it seems like Rivers himself and Shane Steichen, they don't trust his arm right now. You can't trust his arm right now.
Yeah, I don't know how much more creative you can be
what are you
offensively.
Gonna do with that?
I don't, I guess you could try to just double move teams to death and hope that the Rivers, ball to Downs is something that can get there. But I think you're playing with fire when you attempt anything down the field. And again, so much of it just comes down to, I feel like the defense gave a great effort, down several starters as well. But man, that final drive, and to me, it started with the with the lack of a squib kick. Like, to me, for a groupie there, you just got to squib it down the middle. You got to eat clock. Your coverage unit's been great all year long. Rely on them to make a play, in the middle of the field. Hopefully that eats up clock. And then, if you're able to make one legit tackle in the middle of the field on a ball that's, even again, if you give up 8 or 9 yards on a completion on that last drive, that very well could be enough. If you allow 2 8-yard completions and you tackle them, you just force Darnold to check it down, you probably win the game.
Yeah. Jeff, let's try you next at 239-1070. Welcome into the Fan Morning Show. What's on your mind, my man?
Well, I'd like to say, respond to Mr. Bowen. Surely the last 4 games can either be an exclamation point or a nail in the coffin for either Steichen or Mr. Ballard. But I agree with you concerning the defense. Midland at best when it comes to the secondary, and the linebackers need to be replaced if we're going to be in Anarumo's type of defense next year. That's all I got. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Thoughts?
Yeah, thank you, Jeff, for the call. I guess I probably should have been clear on the whole Ballard Steichen thing. Like I thought Ballard should have been gone after last season. It's like, do I really need to see?
You've been pretty clear on
the
that.
Final 3 games. Like, haven't we seen enough? I guess. That's where I'm at. To me, it's a bottom line business. And if this season indeed continues to go down this pathway, I mean, you're looking at 11 years without a division title. You're looking at, again, a 5-year playoff drought, which is one of the longest in the NFL. It's one of the longest this franchise has had in 30-plus years. Like, that, to me, tells enough of the story. Like, I don't need to dissect the Phillip. If we really want to nitpick, when Daniel Jones cracked his fibula, should they have explored a backup option a little bit better? Sure, but I think that's a little bit of nitpicking post-trade deadline, exactly what that could look like.
All right, let's go to the phones one more time before we head to the check down. John, your turn here on the Fan Morning Show. What did you see yesterday?
Well, I heard that Riley Leonard, I think he had a bad knee, and that's the reason he didn't play. He was injured. That's what I heard.
Kevin?
Practiced fully all 3 days last week. My experience in the NFL, if you're practicing fully for 3 straight days, you're healthy. I didn't notice anything knee brace, wrap, sleeve on him at all at practice. So, again, we're probably splitting hairs, but I think Leonard with a little bit of a leg element and the ability to throw the ball down the field a little bit. I mean, hell, in 3 quarters in Jacksonville, he produced pretty much the same amount of offense that without any practice time all week long. So if I had to pick or choose, I would pick Leonard right now.
All right.
That's just me.
More texts, more phone calls coming up in a minute. 239-1070 for both. In the meantime, let's check it down.
The Morning Checkdown on 93.5 and 107.5 The Fan.
All right, we're going to go quickly. Seahawks 18, Colts 16. Jason Meyer hits a 56-yard field goal late in the fourth quarter. His 6th of the day to beat Phillip Rivers and the Colts. Rivers was 18 of 27 for 120 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception at the very end, trying to get him into field goal position one more time. All in all, kind of dated Phillip Rivers have.
Are we grading him off the couch or grading him like an NFL quarterback?
Both.
Off the couch and A++++. It's a hell of a story. It's a freaking movie. If we're grading him for an NFL quarterback and literally acting like he has practiced with this team all year long and all that, you give him what, a D+? I mean, it's 2 totally different evaluation points.
214 yards of total offense for that team yesterday. Just want to point that out.
The story is incredible. The NFL experience of him starting as a quarterback, if you're going to accurately grade it, it was an awful day for the offense.
All right, elsewhere in the NFL yesterday, as the Colts dropped to 8-6, Jacksonville gets a win. They beat the Jets 48-20. They now are in control of the AFC South at 10-4, and the Houston Texans also got a win. They are now 9-5 after beating the Arizona Cardinals 40-20. Right now, the Colts are in the 8th spot, 1 spot out, looking in. They'll have to win at least 3 games, Kevin, and hope that they get a little help here with 3 to go.
They could get in with 2.
It'd be really difficult.
But you really need to beat Jacksonville and Houston, honestly, to end the season, the divisional games. And you're going to need, and Mark rattled off Houston and Jacksonville's schedule. Houston has Raiders, Chargers, and then the Colts down there in Houston. So, again, it's a uphill climb, but it is still, doable on paper.
Bills keep their AFC East hopes alive by beating the Patriots at Foxborough 35-31. Mark, are the Bears for real at 10-4 with a beatdown of the Browns 31-3?
They're real, baby.
Man, oh man, they are in first place in the NFC North.
Caleb Williams threw a couple balls that I'm just like, I don't even understand how that even possibly got to DJ Moore yesterday in the end zone.
You got excited, you're saying?
Oh, I would pull the JMV.
You have to be happy with the Broncos.
Leave the room, kids.
They beat the Packers yesterday, so the Packers lost yesterday, too.
Nothing more glorious than that.
Could the Bears be the 1 seed in the NFC, Mark?
They'll have to leapfrog the Rams, but, I mean, it's not out of the question.
Rams Seahawks Thursday night, so that will eliminate, not eliminate, but that would obviously put one of them down the rung.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then I think that they're both 11 right now, right? So they would jump.
What are the Bears? 10-4?
10-4.
Yeah, I think
so they would just basically swap places. If the Seahawks win, they're just swapping. They're jumping to first then. By the way,
Packers suck.
Yes,
There
they
you
do.
go. And the Packers may get some bad news today too. The fear is that Micah Parsons, who came over from the Cowboys at the beginning of the year, tore an ACL. Mark, I don't know if you were watching the game, but it was non-contact, and it just looked like something bad happened.
I was watching that game live. As soon as it happened, I said, that does not look good. And we just saw with Patrick Mahomes, although that was a contact injury, Micah, non-contact injury, and he fell like they always say. It looks like he got shot in the back of the leg. That's exactly what looked like what happened.
Kevin, you mentioned Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs lose to the Chargers at home 16-13. They are eliminated from playoff contention, but more importantly, Patrick Mahomes leaves the game limping, and it's confirmed that he has a torn ACL.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy. I mean, obviously no Burrow, no Mahomes in the playoffs here. We'll see about Lamar Jackson. And by the way, how about Buffalo coming back to beat New England yesterday?
Didn't they put up like 4 straight touchdowns at one point in time?
Yeah, I mean, New England is sitting pretty, looking like they're going to be, in that 1 seed slot, season sweep of the Bills, and then Josh Allen and company do that.
They took that 21-0 lead. I'm like, I would never have guessed that this is what that game was going to turn into. I was like, boy, they're blowing their doors off, and all of a sudden you blink, and you're like, oh, here comes Josh Allen. Here come the Bills.
Yeah, don't give Josh Allen a moment there. He'll come and hurt you. Also last night, Sunday Night Football, J.J. McCarthy looked good, threw for 250 yards and 2 touchdowns, and the Vikings went on the road against the Cowboys. The Vikings are only 6-8 this year, but I don't know, did you watch any of that game, Mark? I know you were busy with wrestling last night, but J.J. McCarthy looked like an NFL quarterback last night.
Yeah, he kind of Jekyll and hides himself through every Sunday and everything, but it was just a reminder that Jerry Jones and the Cowboys are frauds. They usually are, and right there is another example of that.
Very damn act together.
No, you get it together, Jerry.
Mark's arguing with himself and the computer now. Also yesterday, the Wizards, the second worst team in the NBA, got their 4th win of the season at the Fieldhouse in an afternoon game. They beat the Pacers 108-89. Marvin Bagley III had 23 points, 14 rebounds. Just horrific shooting for the Pacers. You combine their second and third quarters, they were 2 for 18 from three-point range during those 24 minutes of play.
Yeah, I think it's the worst loss of the season, which is saying something for this team. And you go back to Friday, Jeff, they had an opportunity. Up 5 in the fourth quarter in Philly. No Tyrese Maxey, but Joel Embiid turned back the clock against the Pacers. So, yeah, really, really rough weekend there. And they will have some practice time earlier this week. They got the Knicks coming up on Thursday.
It's the Pacers Playback presented by C&J Water, the official water treatment partner of the Indiana Pacers. CNJWater.com. And as you mentioned, they've got the Knicks coming up on Thursday. Also, congratulations again to Fernando Mendoza, Indiana's first ever winner of the Heisman Trophy. And Kevin, as you pointed out, it wasn't even close.
643 on the first place votes. Diego Pavia, 189. Jeremiah Love, third in 46. One thing to note, too, the Heisman does this each year. They take a map of the country and splice it out into regions. Mendoza also won the South region, so the SEC region, if you will. He won that. So obviously the speech lived up to it. I think Matty Bowen is still wiping away tears from Fernando Mendoza's speech there. And I thought it was really cool. Ralph Russo, a longtime college football writer, mentioned that in his 20-plus years covering the Heisman ceremony, he had not seen the amount of teammates that were there for Fernando Mendoza. And we're talking about a guy who's played in Bloomington for 1 year. So I thought that was a really cool scene from several of his Indiana Hoosier teammates.
All right, more phone calls, more texts, more fallout from the Phillip Rivers-led defeat 18-16. He did what he could, but he could only do so much, and that was really the story, is he could only do so much. The Colts dropped their 5th in 6 games. They are now 8-6. We'll talk about it next.
Soccer Saturday featuring Indy 11. If this is your football, this is your show. Saturday at 9 on The Fan.
With over 100 online casino-style games, Chumba Casino is your destination for nonstop entertainment. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 21+.
Barrington Jewels is your holiday home of the finest gifts, like breathtaking diamonds, emeralds, rubies, sapphires, and a wide selection of gemstones. Barrington also offers exquisite watch brands like Oris, Junghans, and Tutima, as well as fine pre-owned timepieces from many top brands. From watches to necklaces and pendants, earrings, or even an engagement ring, you'll find the perfect holiday gift at Barrington. Visit Barrington Jewels in Clearwater Crossing. And remember, you haven't seen a diamond until you've seen a Barrington diamond.
Hey, Colts fans, Crown Royal is a proud partner of the Indianapolis Colts, and this season it's not game day without the generous spirit of Crown Royal. Whether you're at the tailgate, in the stands, or watching from home, Crown Royal is the reason and the reward for coming together. Grab a glass with the Crown Royal rig at a stadium near you, because we'll be sharing the generous spirit with fans across the country. Crown Royal, fueling game day with a generous spirit. Visit www.crownroyal.com/Royal Rig for more on the Crown Royal Rig Tour. Please drink responsibly.
JMV here for my friends John and Chris Love at Love Heating and Air Conditioning. Make sure your home is cozy and comfortable during these icy cold winter months. Need heating service? Tell them JMV sent you. If a repair is needed, Love will waive the $95 service fee. And should you need a new furnace, Love is a Heil Heating and Cooling dealer. Call Love today, 317-353-2141. Let Love and Heil take care of your home today. 317-353-2141. Tell them JMV sent you.
Hi, I'm Lexi, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. We'll help you find last-minute gifts that don't look last-minute, even if you're still planning to propose. At Shane Company, we'll show you perfect gifts at perfect prices, in stock and ready to give. Like hand-matched diamond studs, 14-karat gold chains, or the ultimate gift, a beautiful engagement ring. We have longer store hours, so you can skip the crowds and shop when you want, or visit us at shaneco.com. Because a friend wants you to be a holiday hero. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Without an Advent clinic nearby, people suffering needlessly from chronic nasal congestion and sinus infections would be stuck with either Band-Aid or Sledgehammer solutions. Band-Aids are pills or nasal sprays, and they're not true solutions. Surgery is a sledgehammer, and that's what we're trying to avoid. Because most people don't need surgery for nose and sinus issues, nor do they want a 14-day recovery. Our unique Advent approach can, in 20 minutes in our office, open your blocked nose for good, with only 1-day recovery. I'm Advent founder Dr. Kandula. Outside of Advent's 4 walls, invasive surgery is what they'll recommend. But here you will find effective and convenient in-office solutions to help you stop the need for Band-Aids and avoid the sledgehammer.
Go to adventknows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. Most insurance accepted.
Family-owned Cynthia's Hallmark has gifts for everybody on your list this holiday season. One of the big sellers, the new DC UK Company ducks. These charming hand-carved bamboo root ducks with cute outfits and sweet names have been flying off the shelves. And while you're finding the perfect gift, check out the newest treasures from the Jim Shore collection. The snowman with the cardinal, absolutely heart-melting. And the Jim Shore Grinch sewing his Santa suit, with Max supervising, of course, is an instant favorite. Speaking of the Grinch, Cynthia's in Greenfield and on Allisonville Road carry the entire Grinch Light Up Village by Department 56. And yes, they also have the full Christmas Vacation Light Up Village for all you Clark Griswold fans. The beauty of willow tree figurines and ornaments are so personal and make such a memorable gift. Planning holiday parties? Don't forget my favorite, the easy-to-make award-winning Wind and Willow dips and cheese ball mixes. Your guests are going to love them. Shop family-owned Cynthia's Hallmark this holiday season. 116th and Allisonville Road, 96th and Lantern Road, 116th and Brook School Road, and in Greenfield.
Caffeine doesn't have to be bitter or boring anymore. 5-Hour Energy Shots are bringing the flavor and energy. One of my personal favorites, Strawberry Banana. It's giving smoothie vibes in a compact caffeinated shot. Whether you like your energy sour, fruity, or tropical, with 17 flavors, there's something for everyone. And yeah, it's got as much caffeine as a 12-ounce cup of coffee, but with 0 sugar and no crash. Big flavor, tiny bottle, tasty caffeine done right. You can grab yours in-store or hit up 5hourenergy.com or order on Amazon today.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Ride with JMV.
There's a flag on the play, and Daniel Jones is down. Daniel Jones can't even make it over to the sideline.
We've been screwed for so long. I mean, it's almost like it's just another layer of screwing. The Colts at some point are going to win an AVN Lifetime Achievement Award because it's been such a huge screw job. It's incredible.
The Ride with JMV.
Weekdays 3 to 6.
On 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan. You're listening to The Fan Morning Show on Sports Radio 93.5 and 107.5. The Fan.
And for my grandparents, por el amor y sacrificio de mis padres y abuelos, lo quiero mucho. De todo mi corazón, de todas las gracias.
For my grandparents and other members of my family, with all my heart, I thank you so much. That was a Cuban, the Cuban descendant of Fernando Mendoza, the Heisman Trophy winner.
Did you just translate that?
I did.
All I heard
not
was
word for word, but generally. Yeah.
I heard "Te quiero Taco Bell." Wasn't that a commercial back in the day?
With the little Chihuahua guy. That was great. Yeah.
Jeff, you start speaking like that, Christine's going to be all over you. Who needs the heating bill?
Habla español, pero no recuerdo más. 7 años en la escuela, pero muchos años pasados.
I took 4 years of Spanish in high school. I heard that, and I was just like, boy, that sounded good.
Remind me to not speak Spanish around Mark anymore. I'm getting a little worried over there.
Aren't you always worried around Mark?
Sometimes. This might be the greatest. I was just going to say, we're going to get to Roger in a second here on the phone, but I was going to say to Mark, this might be the best development in all of our relationships that we are now separated from you by a big pane of glass and a wall.
Yeah. Can you send some of the heat over this way?
Well, there won't be any coming from this side, I'll tell you that.
Blow some hot air this away.
A little chilly here this morning, but chilly everywhere. I guess the roads were a mess last night, but I think they've gotten better. I didn't have any issues coming in. Did you?
No, and I mean, I drove downtown yesterday to do some TV at about 11 a.m., and I don't think it was even too bad yesterday.
No, dude, some TV last night. No big deal. Ho hum.
Yeah, that's what the man does. That's what he does for a living.
Plows maybe do one more sweep in my area. That wouldn't be too bad. I'd appreciate it, but other than that, not too bad.
All right. Let's go to the phone lines now. 239-1070. Roger's been very patient today, off and on. Roger, thanks for hanging with it, man, but now you are on the air. Let us have it.
Sure thing. Two things. One, and I'll hang up and get your thoughts. How well does Zaire Franklin fit in this system? It doesn't seem like he can cover anybody in coverage. It seems like we need to address that ongoing. And then two, I really am starting to have an issue with Steichen and what seems like a serious pucker factor, because he's very aggressive until it's winning time, and then it seems like he gets very conservative. So I'm thinking yesterday, as an example, why not go for it on fourth down when you've seen they've been moving the ball? If you can get a first down and then kick a field goal, there's no time left on the clock. That's a win. And as Kevin pointed out earlier, the only thing that matters right now are wins.
Yeah, Roger, thank you for the call. I'm glad you brought this up because, Jeff, we haven't really gotten into this debate there of, what happened right before the Blake Grupe 60-yard field goal. As far as Zaire Franklin is concerned, I fully expect, him to be back, assuming it's the same personnel, more of just because, who are you passing that torch to? I mean, I get that contractually, the guaranteed money might not be there and all of that, but by no means do I think Franklin is some, Pro Bowl level linebacker, but at the same time, it's more of a who else, which I don't know if that's the most ringing endorsement, but those thoughts there. Did you think they should have gone for it on the fourth down?
I do, because everything that he just said, I think your best chance, and what did they have there?
I want to say it was a 4th and 3 or 4, maybe?
4th and 3. It was 4th and 3 at the Seattle 42. I understand that you don't want to let them have a short field, but they ended up getting a short field anyway after that disaster of a kickoff. But at 4th and 3, that's still in the wheelhouse for Phillip Rivers. 4th and 3, if you're going to be creative and you've got to play somewhere that, we always save that play for a 2-point conversion or something like that. There's always one or two plays you're like, I know we can get 3 yards. We're just going to save it for the right time. You're telling me we didn't have one of those plays yesterday?
So Phillip Rivers checked into a run there on 3rd and whatever that was.
3rd and 7. Taylor goes up the middle for 4 yards.
My thought before that play started was, if they get any positive yards here, I really think they'll kick it with Grupe. I think they believe, and clearly Grupe showed it, I think they believe Grupe's leg is about in that 60-ish range. So I thought any sort of positivity there would have gotten them into at least running Grupe out there. My doubt on the whole 4th down, I understand where you're coming from there. You can theoretically win the game or take off the rest of the time. You're having to win multiple coin flips in that situation. You're having to call 4th and 3 a coin flip. Okay, you have to win that. Just because you get 4th and 3, it doesn't mean you're a slam dunk to then make the field goal. Yes, you would hope you get a few more yards after that, but this offense was not moving it at
But you're also
speed.
Still running the clock, and that was as much the part of the equation for me as anything else, too.
Sure, but Grupe still got to make what, a 52-yarder then for the win? Or whatever that looks like. I think it's more of just...
You might even get another first down after that.
Well, not with how this offense is moving the ball.
Look, here was my point.
This offense takes about 10 years for them to get a first down yesterday.
But going back to that, the Seahawks had scored on 4 of their 5 previous possessions, too. They'd been moving the football.
I think if you would have executed better, particularly with the kickoff, I don't think we're talking enough about Blake Grupe's the inability to squib that kickoff. If you squib that thing down the middle with how your kick coverage unit has been all year long, you are wasting probably 7 seconds. You're tackling them maybe at the 28, something along those lines. And then now you are making them probably have to get another completion to get into whatever 52-yard range, whatever is somewhat manageable for Jason Myers. And you just have to defend it better. So I this question from Roger is one I got a lot. I get it. I didn't have that big of an issue with it. I understand the 60-yarder is probably a 40% chance you make it, 35% chance that you make it. I understand that odds aren't particularly great in any of those cases, but I was content with that. You just got to defend it better, and it starts with the kickoff.
There are a lot of things to go back and talk about from yesterday, but you're right. Coming down to the last 2 minutes, all that stuff is in play. Carlos is up next at 239-1070, joining us on the Fan Morning Show. Good morning, Carlos.
Morning, buddy. Great job on the show. Like the last caller, just questioning Chase Duncan's aggressiveness, and I'm questioning myself with the same mentality with Lou calling the play. Of course, you can see there was no trust on your corners. Why not play man-to-man? Give out the blip leg, so be it. You got him on the ropes. You're a boxer. You got someone kind of hurt. Finish with your best combination. So what's the best thing you can do to Sam Darnold? Put him under pressure. That's when he stumbles. So I think, to me, it was very important for us to go after those guys. I mean, and same type of mentality with Lou Rumo calling the game. But the word for me, it was no trust on his guys. Who we're gonna trust then? The defense did phenomenal, and I get that Steichen went for the field goal because he knew that his defense was playing good, and we should have made the adjustment of just playing man-to-man, playing tighter, play press, and make Sam Darnold beat you. But playing soft, man, come on. I mean, that was so bad.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't
Carlos, thank you for the call, man.
How about sending 6 guys on one of those plays?
We had this discussion earlier, Jeff. I think it's an either or. You either bring the house or you drop 8. And again, I know some people might say, what, drop 8? Let Darnold sit back there. If you make him check it down, even if it's an 8 or 10-yard gain, and you tackle them in bounds, and if you do that 2 times, I think the game's over. Or you're probably forcing a Hail Mary or like a 65-yard. Would they have no timeouts? The ability to just tackle them in bounds on a 8 to 9 yard gain. What did Shaheed get on the first play? 18? Something like that? That's way too big of a gain. If you're able to keep them, so either to me it's a blitz all day like they tried on the second down play, or on the second completion, it didn't work out, like Carlos says there, or you simply just keep everything in front of you, don't let them get, build that wall, if you will, at 8 to 10 yards. And that's where I think the mistake was made there. To me, it was either or. I thought the first down was kind of a half-assed attempt at both.
Yeah. 17-yard pass to start that game-winning drive for Seattle. That was followed up. Sparnell, they ran up and spiked the football, stopped the clock. Then Darnold went short to Shaheed, and then they just got in position and won the football game. All right, coming up in a moment, we'll have a few final thoughts for the day. 18-16 final score. Seahawks get the win. Colts now 8-6. We'll talk about it next. 93.5, 107.5 The Fan.
Hey, it's Mark, and boy, oh boy, the winter weather is here in full effect. We got smacked in the face over the weekend with the bitter cold and a whole lot of snow. Our furnace got a workout. I'm sure yours did as well. It's been working overtime the last 72 hours or so, and it's not stopping anytime soon with the forecast peaking at around the mid-40s the rest of the week. Maybe you've been dragging your feet, or maybe this is the first weekend you realize you're not getting the most out of your HVAC system. Whatever it may be, do what I did. Get a hold of the folks at Love Heating and Air Conditioning today. Whether it's a tune-up, a house call, or a full-blown replacement, or anything in between, Love can take care of you like they took care of me. Not only are they a certified Heil system provider, they also are the best in the business. Don't delay. Give them a call today, 317-353-2141, or check them out online at love-hvac.com, whichever option you choose. John and Chris Love and their staff will make sure you're a satisfied customer, just like the Dykton household is. Whether it's a house call, get a customer service rep on the phone, check out all the products and services they provide, like the Heil system they installed at our house. You can also read customer reviews and go over financial options as well. Love Heating and Air has been serving Indianapolis and Central Indiana, owned and operated by the same family for over 100 years, and they'll take care of you like your family. 317-353-2141, or check them out online, love-hvac.com.
Welcome to Wawa. We're open 24/7, so when the sun goes down but everyone's still up, Wawa has your late night fuel. Headed to a hangout? Stop in for snacks and sodas. Binge your favorite shows with burgers and hoagies. Gather around the table with garlic knots and a cheesy Wawa pizza. Or just chill on the couch with fries and whatever milkshake sounds good. Your night just got a whole lot tastier. Freshly made burgers, pizza, and so much more. When you got a late night craving, you got a Wawa. Price and participation may vary by store.
Marcus Morris here with Family Heating and Air. As we're reaching colder weather, you may find yourself in need of furnace service. At Family, we specialize in solutions to extend your furnace life. Call the Fix-It team from Family. You can easily reach us at familyhvac.net. From our family to yours, have a happy holiday.
Family Heating and Air is your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer.
If you or someone you know needs help putting food on the table, that help is closer than you think. The Fan cares. We've partnered with local food banks and organizations to provide resources for those who need them. Just go to 1075thefan.com and look for the banner that says Find Free Food near you. You'll find a link to Community Compass with an up-to-date and interactive map that shows locations, days, and times for you to collect food at no cost, as well as other resources to help you through this challenging time. Find community help now at 1075thefan.com.
It's JMV for Indiana's Best. My friend Eric Wilson and Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st and State Road 37. It's in Fishers. Check it out right now. The GMC Acadia, good for you, the family, and the friends of the family. Inventory, car buying experience, service after the sale, the absolute best. It's one-stop shopping. Ask for Eric Wilson and head to Andy Moore Buick GMC, 131st and State Road 37 in Fishers.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, but it's real, and I have paperwork to prove it. They got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840. 800-354-2840.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Out here, days are getting a little cooler, and mornings are starting with a few more layers. It's the season for more time at the grill, more feed for your animals. Heaters burn late into the night, and the woods start calling your name. We appreciate hard-working hands, shared moments, and love for our land. That's why season after season, we're here for your life out here. Tractor Supply.
With Wawa's Rewards program, you can rack up points on the items you buy every day, even fuel. Boost your totals with a breakfast sizzly. Score points with your morning coffee. With Wawa Rewards, points put the power in your hands. You can choose to redeem them for what you love most, like an iced latte for an extra pick-me-up or your lunchtime hoagie. Download the Wawa app today. When you gotta get rewarded, you gotta Wawa. Fuel rewards not available in New Jersey or were legally prohibited. See full details at wawarewards.com. Price and participation may vary by store.
Actual price will depend on product and subscription plan. Featured products are compounded drug products, which the FDA does not approve or verify for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. See website for details, restrictions, and important safety information.
Want a boost in and out of the bedroom? Hims has you covered. Introducing a new 2-in-1 approach to level up your game. Tadalafil for better bedroom performance and zinc for testosterone support. Put it all together and you've got what you need to turn things all the way up. Getting started is simple. Just go to hims.com/joy to start your free online visit. Through Hims, you can access ED treatments including pills, chews, and more. 100% online. No office visits, no pharmacy lines. Just fill out a simple intake form and a licensed medical provider will determine if treatment's right for you. If prescribed, it ships free and discreetly to your door. Find affordable treatment options at up to 95% less than brand names at hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy, HIMS.com/JOY.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
No one does happy hour like Twin Peaks. Everything from tequila cocktails and bourbon to top shelf spirits and cocktails served over ice balls. Local craft beers and handcrafted whiskey cocktails round out the adventurous drink menu. And don't forget about the 29-degree drafts.
We went out there, we had a chance to win it. I mean, put it that way. We had a chance to win it there at the end. Got a field goal to take the lead with 30 seconds left or whatever it was, 40 seconns. I thought he managed the offense. The plan going into the game was run the ball, control the clock. Thought we did a pretty good job of that. In the first half, it was setting up pretty good in the first half that way. And then obviously didn't manage enough points there in the second half. Got the 3 there at the end, but, it was a hard-fought game back and forth.
Shane Steichen, that's the aftermath of the Colts' 18-16 loss to Seattle in Seattle yesterday. We've been talking about it all morning long. Kevin Bowen, before you and I get too much further, let's let Mark Dykton shine. Every Friday, Mark puts it out there. What are your headlines going to be about the game? And everybody responds, and they give their, was it 5 words, Mark, for the headlines this time?
5 words or less. That's what
right.
we're very strict about that, so let's get into it.
Let's hear the best ones.
All right, here we go. Oh, maybe.
Again.
Read all about it.
I can't read it. There's no words on it.
I'm Ron Burgundy, and this is what's happening in your world tonight.
Ripped from the headlines of the newspaper.
We'll do it live.
Post-game headlines.
Thing sucks.
All right, so 5 words or less to sum up the game against the Seahawks. Brock had one of my favorites. He says, Phil beats time, not Seahawks. Brent added, Gramps kicked out of Seattle. Alex, the IU football fan, said fading fast with field goals. A lot of alliteration right there. Terry D says just enough to keep watching. Mark says 1 field goal too many. No moral victories. Defense folded, says Jeremy. B-Dud says close, but no Signetti. Any of that stuck out to you, Kevin?
Yeah, Corey, defense slower than Grandpa Phil, I would say probably there at the end. Definitely true. And then John, Riley Leonard couldn't do that? Question mark.
It's a great question. Debate that we've had all morning.
The one I came up with was Colts Rivers run dry.
Michael had Rivers dinks, Colts offense stinks.
It's you get the sense of what happened with all those headlines. They're all spot on, but the Colts lose 18-16, and you start to look ahead to a Monday night game with the San Francisco 49ers, and I don't know that this 49ers team is great, better, worse than Seattle. I don't know. But I know that what we saw offensively yesterday, that just can't win you football games on any kind of consistent basis. And now that San Francisco is going to go back and look at everything that happened and how it happened and why it happened, do we think it's going to get better all of a sudden?
Well, a couple questions I would have is this. First off, DeForest Buckner, Sauce Gardner. Can they play for you on Monday?
That would help.
That would be where I would start first. Yeah, exactly what this offense could look like more in a week. Shane Steichen seemed to express optimism that there's more there. I don't.
How much more?
I'm a little hard-pressed to find exactly what that is. San Francisco, I mean, they are the poster child for we overcome injuries. Their starting quarterbacks played, 6 games all year? With Nick Bosa and Fred Warner and, their first-round pick and their wide receiver position.
All year long,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, they are the poster child for we don't care about injuries. We just find a way to get it done. They've once again done that this season. It's not that big of a spread, by the way. I want to say they're favored by 4 or 5. So, Vegas expects this to be much, much more competitive than certainly Seattle was.
Well, they're going to have to try and find a way to get 3 more wins. I believe it's in order: San Francisco Monday night, Jacksonville at home, and then the Houston Texans on the road. Am I correct in those?
Yeah, obviously 3 gets you in, to be clear. 2 could get you in. I know that might sound ludicrous to a lot of people, but 2 could be enough depending on the results that you get. Now, this is a really poor week for positive playoff results for the Colts. A really, really poor week in that realm. So, Jacksonville and Houston the last 2 weeks of the season are the massive games. If you're going to weigh the 3, obviously, given the state that you're in, any loss right now isn't good.
Can I ask you a quick question, though?
But the last 2
right here, right now, is Jacksonville right now the best team in the AFC?
I would
the way
say
they're playing.
I would say no. I mean, I first off, I still am not betting against Josh Allen, given how the playoff landscape looks here. And then as much as we continue to be skeptical of Denver and New England, they just seemingly go out there and win every single week. So I thought that Denver win was pretty impressive yesterday. Was it not? I mean,
Green Bay,
obviously I wasn't watching a ton of it, but I thought that was a pretty impressive result yesterday.
Bo Nix style second half. They were down 23-14. Then just a few minutes left in third quarter. They're like, okay, time to start now. Let's go. It's what they do. But we'll be talking about this all week long. The San Francisco 49ers coming back. Will Phillip Rivers once again be the quarterback? Listen for Jake's reaction and JMV throughout the day. Jake at noon, JMV at 3. Kevin, great job as always. We'll have James Boyd back tomorrow morning as well. Mark, way to fight through all the technical stuff. Good job. We'll see you tomorrow.
The Ride with JMV.